wellness.
Iran-backed Houthi rebels claim a suspected U.S. attack has killed at least a half dozen people in Yemen.
The overnight strikes on Yemen's capital, in addition to the deaths, wounded over 20 people, while the Houthis claim their forces shot down an American MQ-9 Reaper drone. Footage aired by the Houthis' Al Masirah satellite news channel showed firefighters spraying water on a raging fire they described as being sparked by the airstrikes. Rubble litters the street as rescuers carry one person away from the site, which the rebels claim was a ceramics factory in a Banamata neighbourhood of Sana'a, the capital. Since its start nearly a month ago, the US campaign has killed over 120 people, according to the Houthi Health Ministry casualty figures. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Russia claims its deadly missile attack on Ukraine's city of Sumy that killed and wounded scores of civilians on Sunday targeted a gathering of Ukrainian troops, children among the dead. Townhall.com. Some good news for Californians and for visitors to the state who'd like to enjoy one of the most scenic drives you'll find anywhere on the planet.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says the Pacific Coast Highway will open in time for summer by the end of May, ahead of schedule. The road's been closed since the January fires, with only Pacific Palisades residents, repair crews, and essential business employees allowed to use it. Crews are working to clear toxic debris, fix the road, and demolish collapsed homes.
And that's correspondent Tasha Stevens reporting. Chinese President Xi Jinping is mounting what might be considered a charm offensive of sorts. He's launching a week of Southeast Asia diplomacy, and it all begins with a visit to Vietnam. Xi is hyping China's supposed commitment to global trade. Among others, he'll be meeting with Vietnam's premier. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday.
Yes, sir. Welcome back.
It's already warm, 60, sunny.
Windy.
Yeah, it's gonna be breezy today.
Yesterday was slightly less torturous than Saturday.
Yeah,
but yesterday was still a lot.
It was a lot of hot.
A lot of hot. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because I procrastinate. But I decided to wait until the hottest day so far in 2025 to say, hey, I should get out and do some yard work.
What are you, new?
Yeah. Apparently. No.
Would you at least start in the morning? No.
Here's the thing. I had every intention to. The problem that I was running into, I have an electric weed eater, and I only have so much extension cord, so I have to be very, plan where I'm going to plug this in the house to run it out. And the place I was going to start was Hunter's room, so I had to wait for him to wake up. At least that's what I told myself to continue my laziness. It's always justified.
Right. You feed the procrastination.
That's right.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, I get it. I know that path. But
tis a dangerous web we weave.
But when I know the suffering, that if I do procrastinate, that's when I'm like, all right, I'm going to be proactive.
Yeah.
When I know that it's going to hurt if I procrastinate more. I'm like, no, I got to do this.
Yeah, I can talk myself. That's usually how I talk myself into doing most things. But I did take advantage of one very convenient aspect of parenthood. Free child labor. Although it wasn't free, I actually ended up paying Hunter $5 to help me with the trash in the yard.
Well, it's cheap labor.
Yeah, it's definitely cheap labor.
And it's only going to get improved from here. I mean, you're going to have to, it's going to cost more.
Oh, yeah.
But the work will get better as the boy gets bigger, too.
It's true.
Pretty soon, you can almost turn it over to him. Like when he gets, like 15, or 14, I don't know.
Come here, boy. Sit with me on the wooden steps. See where the light touches? Everything the light touches could be yours. It won't be.
I'm going to retire to the Barca Lounger while I give you this list of things that I used to do. Well, sort of. Well, now
I bestow upon thee the chore list.
I've added a few things I've never wanted to do. I just
things that I've never actually had. You're installing a fountain.
Allegedly, we have gutters. But
just start flinging like tomato sauce in the house. Clean that off. I'm not doing that, people. I love my children very, very much.
No, that's what parents say. Why not? That's crazy.
The difference in my children's eagerness to help.
Yeah.
Rhiannon, all I wanted her to do was hold the bag for me. So I just hold the bag. So, Hunter can put trash in, we can put weeds in, all that stuff.
Big effort, huh?
Hunter was like running. He was so eager to get out there and get it done.
Work with his dad.
It's great. I love it.
She's busy probably thinking about her next thing on whatever device she's on.
Well, she was mad that it was hot and that I hadn't taken them for ice cream yet. I said after the chore, honey.
That's right. Go first the work, then the reward.
Then you are bestowed the reward.
That's right. Good deal. But good weekend overall.
Overall, it was a pretty good weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was a couple honeydew things, but not much. Did some stuff around the house. Nothing major.
Yeah.
Pretty hung low, hung around the house.
That's sort of like the ideal adult weekend. It's like, what did you do this weekend? I did nothing.
Yeah.
I did nothing, and it was great.
Did some shopping.
Yeah.
Got some things. Forgot some things. Have to get some things later. This kind of stuff. So, yeah, overall, pretty good. Speaking of the weather, though, it's going to be a bit roller coastery this week, but like on the upper end. Like today, we're going to be pushing 80 and breezy. And then tomorrow's going to be like mid-70s and breezy. And then like Wednesday, we're back up into the 90s and breezy.
Oh, good. So by Wednesday, I can get out and do more yard work. Cool.
Well, by Thursday, we go 90s and windy. And then Friday, we're going to be like breezy and mid-80s.
Okay.
And then by like Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at rain chances.
Nice.
In the 70s. Upper 70s Saturday, lower 70s on Sunday. With the best chance of rain Saturday night, 40%. So it's a little,
kind of all over the place.
And it kind of ends into the part where the roller coaster goes to the lake and it does that that thing right.
The splashdown.
Yeah.
So it's less like a roller coaster, more like a log flume.
Yeah, little log flume, but only at the end.
Yeah.
The rest is a windy, arid, blowing, hilly thing.
Right. Stand on the bridge, you get the best blowback.
That's right. It's funny. I don't know. Somehow this came onto my, whatever you call it, meta sphere or whatever when I'm scrolling around on Facebook. Like, I think what happened was once they offered me a thing about a roller coaster that I remember as a kid at King's Dominion in Virginia. And ever since I kind of stopped and looked at that, like, I've been seeing a lot of other roller coasters. Also, weirdly enough, at King's Dominion that used to be there that are no longer there. Like it was the Rebel Yell, which I don't call the Rebel Yell is still there, but it's not called the Rebel Yell anymore.
I'd imagine no.
The world we live in. I think it's called like Racer X or something really stupid, but it's always the Rebel Yell in my heart. But anyway, like that's still there, and they did a whole thing on that one. It's an old wooden roller coaster. It's big, long, hilly.
It's an old wooden ship.
Yes, San Diego. But
the algorithm is getting a lot more like. Not even smart. They're just paying a lot more attention now.
I guess.
Like if you are scrolling on your feed and if you even just like stop and like hover over a post or a picture, that's interest to the algorithm.
Oh, and X is worse because
sure.
Like they'll feed me some kind of fight and I'll stop for a second, just for a second, just rubbernecking.
Right.
And next thing you know, fight. I just get inundated with clips of brutal clips fights. I'm like, then I stop at a puppy one for a minute. Next thing you know, we got 30 puppy ones.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Is there's a subreddit called Eye Bleach.
Yeah.
And it's recommended to use the subreddit if like you've ventured into parts unknown of the internet, and you need to just get it out of your head.
Yeah.
And it's just puppies and like happy stuff.
Here you go. I was getting a.
I love Mike's nearsightedness on text. You have to old man read for just a second.
Tanner Todd checking in. Bezos is launching his rocket full of women. If he needs something else to talk about, we're going to check it out as we speak. Right on.
Wait. So we've gone from binders full of women to rockets full of women now.
I know what he's talking about.
I have no idea.
I don't think they sold it that. Well, yeah, they did. They kind of say it was an all-women crew, but one of the women is she's a host of one of those Good Morning America or one of those shows.
Really?
Yes.
This is okay. Now this is dangerous because now
I don't remember her name.
Now we're venturing into
she's
Christy
famous.
McCullough territory.
She's famous and she's like host of Good Morning America or one of one of the morning shows. Or
Blue Origins. Oh, it's not. So it's Bezos.
Yeah, it's Bezos.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't Musk. It's Bezos.
Okay, that's not the one. I was looking at somebody with Katy Perry. I don't think she's on this crew. What the? Okay. Pop star Katy Perry and journalist Gayle King are among 6 women traveling aboard Blue
Katy Perry was on it too.
Origin's all-female suborbital space tourism mission.
Gayle King, that's what I was thinking
of. Oprah's buddy.
Yeah, my wife checking in. Hold on. Jing. King. She was telling me Gayle King. But
Gayle
it came
King.
out Jing.
Jing. Yep. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen how those go. It's basically you're suborbital, right? Like, so the plane goes up and then it drops the rocket or the payload off, and that rocket then launches from there into not quite space, but like a layer below it to where you're weightless still, but it's not like
going to send you off into the moon or something.
Right. So it's kind of like the Vomit Comet, essentially.
Kind of.
If you think about it, it's really just like a parabolic arc. Although they stay up for longer, I think.
Yeah, I think they're up for a minute. So. I got to get my interview going. I'm replaying an interview this hour. We had Sheriff and Undersheriff join us on Friday. Had a great conversation with them. We're going to play that for you here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour today, we're going to have James from Bush Appliance join us. I know they're having their spring cleanup sale going on right now, so we'll talk about what's happening over at Bush Appliance. And then Amy McVeigh-Tejas will join us with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico in the 9 o'clock hour. We got Dine to Donate at Texas Roadhouse tomorrow night, scholarships, all kinds of stuff to talk about with Amy in the 9 o'clock hour. Before we do all that, here is the weather, which I already gave you, but here's a meteorologist telling you, which means about the same as what I told you.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Temperatures stay pretty comfortable for the next few days. We have a cool high-pressure system moving in from the central Rockies. We'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Upper 70s to low 80s and a little bit breezy. Overnight, some clouds and low to mid-50s, and then we'll stay nice on Tuesday. It'll be a sunny day and afternoon highs in the mid-70s. We're back to about 90 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 35%. Winds are currently out of the north, blowing at 16 miles per hour. Sunny and near 80 today, 79 officially. Winds will be out of the north, 10 to 20 miles per hour, shifting to the east this afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight, 52 for an overnight low. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a little cooler tomorrow, mid-70s, 74 for a high. East winds 5 to 10 early, shifting to the south, increasing 15 to 20 for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, clear, overnight low 49. Winds out of the south, 15 to 20. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. Wednesday, sunny, 91 for a high. South winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, windy, areas of blowing dust, but sunny, and a high of 93. Friday, sunny and breezy, 84 for a high. And then we're looking at rain chances for the weekend, 30% chance of showers for Saturday. Otherwise sunny and 88, 40% for Saturday night, and a 20% on Sunday. Mostly sunny, 73 for a high there. All right, 7:18, we're going to take a quick break. Your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. Quick break, and then we're going to play our interview with Sheriff and Undersheriff Mike Harrington, Charles Eastlis on the other side. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good April run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings with condition, pairs, bred cows. We expect to sell 1,200 head, breaking down like this: 75 to 100 weight cows and bulls, 100, 125 pairs, bred cows, 950, 1,000 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 13 cow-calf pairs from Miss Nancy McDonald at Tenney, New Mexico, ex-quality red white-face and white-face pairs, 2 to 7 years old. 18 pair Mr. David Corn here north of Roswell, ex-quality black white face Angus crossbred cows with Angus calves at side, good flesh, 9 to 11 years old. 22 bred cows and 5 cow-calf pairs. Hudson Cattle Company, Deming, New Mexico, ex-quality black white face Angus crossbred cows bred to Charolais bulls, 4 to 9 years old. 34 calves, Nielsen Ranch, St. John's, Arizona, ex-quality black white face Angus cross calves, 1 round of shots, weaned, thin condition, 350, 500 pounds. 208 heifers, Rio Hondo Landon Cattle Company down in the Hondo Valley, excellent to good quality long-aged heifers, cattle wean 100-plus days, 1 round of shots, consisting of 150 Brangus heifers in the 400, 650-pound weight range, and 50 1/4 ear crossbred heifers, 500, 650 pounds, thin to medium condition. 19 steers, Mr. Blake McWhirter, Plains, Texas, excellent quality black Brangus steers, weaned 40 days, Bow Shield Gold 7-weight, good flesh, 550, 650 pounds. 87 calves, Hub Corn Ranch here north of Roswell, excellent quality black white face Angus and Brangus crosses, cattle wean 80 days, 1 round of shots, bunk broke, 550, 700 pounds. 68 calves, Mr. Robert Payne, Pie Town, New Mexico, ex-quality black white face Angus crossbred calves, 1 round of shots, thin to medium condition, 350, 550 pounds. 43 calves and light yearlings, U-Bar Ranch, Silver City, New Mexico, ex-quality black Angus crosses, 1 round of shots, medium condition, 350, 600 pounds, and 35 calves. The Robinson Cattle Company, Mesilla Park, New Mexico, ex-quality black white face Angus and Brangus crosses, shots, 350, 550 pounds. Sale time this morning will be 9 o'clock. Sale pairs of bred cows 9:30 to 9:45. Calves and yearlings 10 to 10:30. Very short on weight cows and bulls. Be on pairs of bred cows pretty quick. We will sell on Tuesday next week in observance of Easter Sunday. We expect to sell 1,200 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Upside down? Time to turn it around. The Upside Down and Payoff Sales event is on now at Roswell Honda. Now through Easter weekend, Roswell Honda needs your trade, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. If they make a deal, they'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe and eliminate your existing loan or lease. Drive away today for 0 down and payments as low as $199 a month with or without perfect credit. Drive newer for less and get right side up during the Upside Down and Payoff Sales event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
Undersheriff for the Travis County Sheriff's Department, Charles Eastless, back with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Doing great. I'm gonna try and do the Mike Winters. Good morning.
Some days are easier than others.
There you go.
Friday's easier than Monday.
TGIF, right?
That's
they're
right. Easy on here. Of course, Sheriff might be popping in here.
He's running a little
as
behind,
we speak, so
but he will be here.
So if you see a guy gangbusters roll in here, it's a sheriff. So
that's right. It's Friday.
I imagine for you guys, like you and I were just talking, kind of busy week and all, and it really doesn't. I mean, Friday for most of us, but for you guys, that's just another day at the job. But at the same time, I'm gonna just because people have more free time during this time, which free time, idle hands, usually,
nice weather.
Yeah, it's a cocktail for getting into something you ain't supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And so I'm going to say Fridays for you mean uptick in work and things like that, not necessarily a end of the week like most people look at it.
Yeah, and people always ask us, what's the busiest day of the week? And I tell them it's the one that ends in Y.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Because there's no rhyme or reason whether it's Friday, Monday, Wednesday. We've seen it.
Well, especially when you get in the domestic violence world, it's
the nicer the weather, the more the argument.
If people are together, it's just increasing the odds for those things, and especially when it's family. That's why at cookouts and Christmas and every time you have these family gathering events, there's usually an uptick in some sheriff's department or law enforcement having to go knock on some doors and see what's going on.
One is a
over
result
there.
of the other, and you
play referee.
We saw it during COVID when people were stuck indoors with each other. You love to hate them and you hate to love them sometimes, and what happens is you get cooped up, and when you have the ability to go somewhere, and that ability is taken away, or that privilege is taken away, so to speak, you're now a captive in your own home, and it gets a little rough. So moods change.
To quote the Scorpions from the 80s, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Till it's gone. That's right. Yeah. We're giving away our age now. Good group. Yeah.
That's in essence what it is.
That's right.
And
the nicer the weather, the more the issues sometimes. And we see that not just during COVID, we saw it, but we also see it during the summertime when the weather's nicer. People are out later, and rightfully so, and we encourage it. But with that sometimes comes more drinking.
Absolutely, and then once you're drinking, then obviously judgment gets impaired.
Yes.
Hence the domestic things, and I guarantee 99% of the time when they roll up on a domestic violence thing, alcohol or drugs has played a part in it leading up to that visit.
In the infamous words of Ron White, had the ability to, or had the right to remain silent, just didn't have the ability, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is. We all get our liquid courage. You've heard that. That's a thing.
It's kind of like these telephone tough guys. They post stuff or they say stuff over the phone, and it's that.
Yeah. And so feelings come out when that happens, and then that's generally why a police officer has to come in and play referee or the situation.
The Renaissance man.
Yes.
The counselor, the clergyman,
and that's something too that I think people need to understand. When you roll up on these things, your goal is not to arrest people that night. Your goal is to calm a fight down. If people need to be separated I want to say
squash a situation.
Yeah, a lot of times there's not even unless there's a physical altercation in play. Most people aren't getting arrested. Most people are just saying, all right, can you calm down? Can you go stay at your cousin's tonight or what? You're just refereeing, letting get the hot heads away, let the cooler heads, and that's 9 times out of 10 what you guys are doing. There's the sheriff. Hey, Sheriff.
You're 100% correct. And what happens is that it's a catch-22. We're not there just to put a Band-Aid on something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are there to try and mitigate and solve the problem.
It's like
to at least get them through the evening.
It's like, can we stop this argument tonight? Y'all go sleep it off, and then tomorrow we can maybe have a rational discussion about what you're talking about
That's
here.
when I say, hey, Sheriff, they want to talk to you.
So really, that's 99% of what you're rolling it on. The only time people are going to jail is when there's actual hands laid on someone and something like that.
It can even be the fear.
Sure, if there is an intimidation factor going on, where someone needs a restraining order, then it's maybe let's go sleep in the jail tonight.
If that person believed, and a lot of it's based on past action.
Absolutely.
That there was going to be.
And this is where you probably start getting into your spousal abuse and some of the Roswell refuge type materials we're dealing
And the
with.
history of calls at that place are taken into account, and the
again,
dealings with.
Again, you guys know this history because, again, as we talk
deal
every
with the
time, the sheriffs, the deputies, and our Roswell police, they have beats. They have areas. They have neighborhoods.
Yeah.
They know what's going on in it. They know the people in it. They know what's normal. They know what's not normal.
Right.
And so odds are, if they've been there once, they've probably been there 2 or 3 times.
Yesterday we had a call come out, and it was a call in an area north of town.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the deputies, the dispatch said, well, they didn't want to give their name. One of the deputies said, that's probably going to be so-and-so, and it's because of this. And it was...
Well, this whole Bob, we know what's going on.
And it was.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
And one thing that is that we really try to put out to the community is how good of a population of obeying the law and things like that we actually have.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's only a small percentage of the people that we deal with over and over and over.
It's that 1% that's a lot louder than the most people.
The frequent flyers.
Most people, exactly. The frequent flyers. Most people, they're responding. They're almost. I would say you come across more fear for normal people that you got to calm down. I'm just a cop. We're not here to, because I mean, you pull someone for a ticket that normally isn't used to getting pulled over.
Oh yeah.
You might have to, you're the one like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hurt you. It's all right. People get nervous. Like, you're going to arrest me? You're what I do? I was, that's where I'm going to get, you get more of that than you do the other.
And the person who's not used to that are usually the ones who are very, quiet but also compliant.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Those who get stopped all the time are more vocal and more
or a radio
They've been
DJ.
down that
non-compliant.
Or a radio DJ. I talk to like every time I've been pulled over, I'm always that, hey, how's it going? I'm sorry. And,
Good morning.
And that's the expected. That's the expected response. Is when you walk up to the window, the person is looking at you. They know they did something wrong, whatever it may have been. And they're just trying to
get a break.
Get a break. Yeah.
I'm nice.
Yeah.
But, you ever heard you get more flies with honey than vinegar? You know?
And that's what we expect when we walk up. Yeah. It's whenever you walk up and it's, what the F are you doing harassing me? Now
I know my rights.
The whole tempo of the stop.
I know you pull me over because it's me.
I see this online all the time, but I'm very curious how often. Do you ever get those I guess they call them sovereign citizens or whatever. That is that a common thing? I know I see those videos on TikTok or whatever all the
time. For farm use only on the back of the license plate.
But I don't know if you get those people. It's like I don't have to show you my license because I'm a sovereign whatever they claim.
But most of your sovereign citizens do respect the sheriff. In a sense,
because you're an elected official.
You're an elected.
That makes sense. I got you.
So the sheriff's office to them is different than any
RPD
other
or one of those appointed positions.
But in the end, they'll still get the ticket, and then when they go to court, it's like if it's a major case they present. It becomes.
I've got a 3-pronged detail. It's like it's a speeding ticket, but
they bring in books and
3-pronged defense.
All on a 8 mile an hour over.
It's like I get you have the right to, but we don't need to. That's just it. We could $50 fine and call it a day, man. Let's just go.
And there's a process and there's a reason that you have to go through getting your driver's license because some people don't need to drive.
And that's just it. That's the thing. I think we ought to. It's not on the ticket end. We ought to crack in on the MVD end on who they're actually issuing these bad boys to.
Right.
But we still find them driving.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Well, and that's just it. Now I'm going to take a stab that you get a lot of folks that when they get a little older and they lose their license for various reasons, but they're like, I can drive, and they're going to drive, and it's like, yeah, your license was suspended years ago, but I get you. I was taught. I've been driving since I was 12. Whatever it is.
And when you take away something like that from somebody who's been very independent, and also it is a freedom and a right to them that they fought for a lot of.
Absolutely.
And when you take that away from them, it is well a lot of times the end of
crippling.
But here's the problem. Yeah, and I get it, and I understand.
No, and I do too.
But at the end of the day, you're a menace on the road. You are causing actual harm to society because you cannot handle your vehicle in a proper way.
So when we deal with that type of situation, we have the compassion to understand why you want to do it. We also have the experience and the knowledge to say you don't need to be doing it because there's a reason we just stopped you.
Yeah.
And, there's that saying, if you look in your rearview mirror and you see crashes happening all behind you, you're probably the reason.
You're exactly.
Yeah, you're probably the reason.
Put it this way, your grandkids are on the road too. That's all I'm saying.
That's all.
Well, and with that, we typically will try and contact a family member and get them to help us ease them into that transition.
Because a lot of times there's probably, we've been dealing with this before.
Multiple times.
Like my grandfather was one of those people. He got
my
Parkinson's
grandmother
disease,
was one of those.
and he lived in upstate New York, and it was even more rural than this. And that dude, and this was back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So he could do things like bribe the judge to let him keep driving. Just dumbness like that.
Can I go get you some coffee, Joe?
Right.
I'll be right back.
It was literally Mayberry. He's like,
Driving.
"Come on, Floyd. I'm going to buy you dinner. Give me my license back."
They'll tell you. Look, I made it into the parking spot. Yeah, but every car beside you.
Exactly.
It's beat up.
Has been pushed over a little.
There's a reason your insurance canceled you a year ago, buddy.
But I will say this. To the number of people that we catch that away, we catch younger drivers doing the same exact things. And for them, though, it's driver inattention, which is the same thing for your older couples or older people, because they're not capable of focusing on everything. So it really is a driver inattention.
It's just like real life. The people that need the most supervision are the real old and the real young.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And it's true in driving and it's true in life. And that's... as you get older, you're going to need more help. And
most dangerous job I ever had was driver's ed.
Yeah. Well, if you're 16, you're told all these things not to do. And I'm telling you, as a 16-year-old boy, you're like, I want to go to a parking lot and try a couple of these bad boys. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm not going to be on the highway doing it, but I want to get this bad boy on two wheels in this Target parking lot. You know? I mean, that's just the 16-year-old brain. You know what I mean?
There's a reason why Dukes of Hazzard is no longer on.
Well, we what's the craziest thing is my entire career from the time my kids were just born to now, to ride with them is crazy for me, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I can get in a car with a deputy who I just brought on and go 100 miles an hour to a call, and I'm comfortable.
Right. What's all about experience?
At 25 miles an hour, I'm like, oh, my God. Watch out. They're like, get out of the car.
I know exactly.
So
I've had the sheriff stomp a hole in the floorboard on the passenger side looking for the brake.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey. I'm like, yeah, I see it. Well, it's getting closer. Yeah.
It's on my side.
Man.
That's right. I'm like, hey.
Like a married couple. My wife does the same thing to me when I'm driving. So it's kind of, that's not uncommon. I'm good. But, it's funny. I have a weird family. I have my brother who's like 5 years younger than me. And then I got two sisters. One's in college, one's in high school.
Oh man!
So I kind of got a weird family. But just past Christmas, my sister in high school is now getting her learner's permit, and so the brother went out driving with her.
Right.
And I did it with my other sister too. And I don't know. Yes, it's because they don't know simple things like you're on a hill.
No.
You got to use the parking brake. Like they were trying to navigate backing out of the driveway. And I'm like, this is 101. If you can't do this, we should not be continuing.
You ever seen the 20-point turn?
Yeah.
That's when you when you go over to the neighbor that lives across the street and put a deal on.
You know how hard it is to hit that ditch and you manage to find it.
Don't park your car there, and I'll pay for the fence if something happens.
Yeah, both sisters they scared the living daylights out of me when they were in that, and it was not even out of the driveway both times. One took it into the ditch, the other one I don't.
Yeah.
Better than another car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was their car, thank God. I was like, oh, good thing is your car, not mine.
So very tense training, and they're like, I know. So what I finally did with my kids, as they got older, I took a lawn chair, one of those folding chairs, and we went out to the old airport, and I would just sit in that chair and let them just drive around in the car.
That's right.
Because, there's nothing to run into out there.
Yeah.
Right? And then when they would come back, I just have to make sure
Only
they
thing
don't
you're missing
run
is
me
like
over.
a kill switch. Maybe some kind of kill switch. You can.
Oh, no, I'm going the wrong.
He's going to find the one pole out here. Hold on.
So I did that. I was like, oh, man, go ahead, go. Get used to use only 1 foot, just 1 foot. Don't use two.
The other pedal. The other pedal.
Yeah,
unless you're driving a stick shift, that other foot is useless.
Leave that other foot alone.
Yeah. Which, by the way.
So then they'll hang it out the window.
Right.
Like we see a lot of people driving.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see their one leg hanging out the driver's side
or
window.
on the dashboard.
That didn't even look comfortable. Like,
no.
I'm like,
but I tell you what's going to happen if you hit something.
Oh, yeah, you're Dunsky.
Yeah, there's going to be a bottom part coming through your face.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be
a wishbone.
That's all fine and good to get in an accident. Yeah, and your body's not braced for that. Yeah.
Because even if the car don't get crunched up, the airbag's going to throw you in ways you've never experienced.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're going to get tumbleweeded out the back.
I've seen him stomp a hole in the floorboard, use the force.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah. He's like that. Whoa. Whoa.
Well, you guys kind of got to do that. There's times where you guys don't have to drive normal. You're supposed to drive not normal, so you got to be trained on it. You got to keep up with it.
Every day's an adventure.
On our newest vehicles that we've just got in, we got in 8, and we put double sirens on them. So the reason is because I don't know if right now with the RPD units and some of the other things with some of their sirens they got, you can't hear them until they pass you.
They got right up on you.
Or they're right up on you, and that's a bad situation.
Okay. I wonder if that's like placement of where you put them on the vehicle.
It's just the decibel or something or whatever they called it.
Like a rock concert. We need more. We need more.
Yeah, so we
need more
put
amps.
them on, and they are very loud,
more power.
but necessary because you don't want you got to get that sound out there. And
especially and let's face it, and we've talked a lot with the fire department and the police department about like Main Street and navigating Main Street for emergency vehicles is a nightmare.
That's why
that's a no-no for us.
Yeah, I have now put out a directive that unless we are already in the city, we are not to use Main Street or any city street to go north, south, east, or west because we have the relief routes and we have other things.
Sure.
But if we're inside the city limits and we're running with red lights and siren, we're not to go more than 20 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Well, and let's face it, the sheriff's department is in the city.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
you're going to have to get on Main Street at some point to get to someplace.
Yes, but when you leave our sheriff's office to go north, you can hit McGaffey either way, and you can be out the relief route. And on the map, it looks closer. If let's say we're going to the Allsups out north of town, it looks closer if you go down Main Street. But it's just like Google, and your maps on your car. The distance, it says, do you want the shortest route or do you want the quickest route? Because the quickest route is sometimes miles out of the way.
It's not the shortest,
but it's not
traffic.
Because of the traffic and the chances of really and truly hurting somebody or yourself going down Main Street it's very high.
Absolutely.
And so we put this out, and since we've been doing this, the guys have been going. They get out onto the relief route or out onto Red Bridge Road, and we're able to get there
quicker and safer,
and more importantly, you're able to get there.
But I will say this: if you are on Main Street or any street, really, and you do see an emergency vehicle, whether it's a police car, fire truck, ambulance, whatever, they are going to go left. They're going to stay in the left lane. Your job is to go right.
Yes.
Move to the right.
They are not going to go right around you.
Yes.
Because that's a safety violation. So and so when you see them come blaring up on you, go right. Now, I get it. Some people don't get nervous and get goofy and just and shoot over without looking.
Or just stop.
Yeah.
They just stop.
Yeah, some will stop right in the middle of the road.
Really,
they don't do that either.
They just stop. You're like, whoa,
they panic.
Man,
don't do any of that. Keep the flow of traffic until you can safely get to the right.
Yes. And the other
that
thing
is the way to do that.
The other thing that we tell our guys is, and it's mandated to them now, as you approach the intersection, you better be almost to a complete stop.
Well, you're going to have to be because there's people, and unfortunately,
whether you have the red or the green.
We go into these bigger cities, and then when you get off, even in Albuquerque and some of these, when you get off of the interstates, the inner cities are not as busy as Roswell. Roswell's streets at certain times during the day, it's like you're in a big city.
It's a log jam,
Yeah, and you got people trying to come out of one area, and they go all the way over to the turning lane, and if you're running red lights and siren, and they don't hear you, or they're not paying, all they're worried about is this car hitting them.
Yeah.
They're just trying to sneak out there real quick. That's whenever things happen.
Yeah. Oh, let me just get in.
Yeah.
And then he misjudged something.
Yeah. So we have it where you come to an intersection, be prepared to stop, almost come to a complete stop, especially whenever there's a 2-lane that's coming out of where you're approaching, because this car sees you, this one doesn't. Right. And they always go.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to turn left on Main Street during the day, I judge you.
Yep.
Because I'm like, you're just going to be waiting here. You're holding.
Yes.
Go right. Find a place you can safely U-turn or whatever.
Find a light.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to turn left right
Yes.
now. Not safely.
Or come across, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Find a light.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's just it. If you're going to turn left on the main street, you're going to come across traffic. And
very
you just can't.
soon, with the things that are going to be happening in the summer and with the Reno Air races.
Oh, it's going to be tenfold.
The amount of
wait till
vehicles there
May
will be
time frame when we get an
unbelievable.
influx, and in September it's going to be even more. And we are going to have to. And like you said, it's going to take all of us to just be a little bit patient, a little bit mindful of where and aware of your own surroundings and what you do.
Do your shopping the week before.
Oh yeah,
if you're local, do your shopping the week
grocery
before.
stores and all. Yeah, absolutely. But when you're out and about, and like there's going to be an influx of emerging because more people mean more needs, and so be mindful when you see those lights or hear those sirens.
Yeah.
Your job is to get right. Get right safely.
Yep.
Don't. And I've seen, like when I've done the ride-alongs, I've seen the stop move.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the move.
That's the worst.
Where they pop the
Yeah.
median to go to the other
In
side.
the center, yes.
And dang near, knock their tires out and everything. I was like, that's a curb, man. You just can't be hitting that at 40
Right
miles
is right,
an hour.
left is wrong.
Yeah. You pop a curb at 40, that will do damage to your vehicle.
When you have somebody who's got their music up so loud in their vehicle, and or the funniest thing the scariest thing, and then the funniest thing is whenever you're coming up on them, and it's not until you're about to pass them, the look on their face is, and we always say that's the only look a mama could love, because they're completely scared to death seeing you here on the side.
Yeah.
But you were already behind them for a while, which was scary as you're coming up and they're not moving.
Right.
And you're like, oh man. So now you go around them to the side,
and you're like,
and then they have the look of complete terror on their face, and you're like,
welcome to Earth,
you were
buddy.
there.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so it's scary, then it's funny, and then it's back to business.
Sure.
But it's one of those things you're like, oh my God, what was that guy thinking? But in vehicles, people are on their phones. They're and they
Too
have
many
them up.
distractions.
Doing too many things.
Yep, doing too
other
many
than
things.
driving.
Yeah.
And you.
I get it, man.
Makeup and other things, and looking in the mirror, combing your hair,
and just my own. Like I just got a new Jeep, and my new Jeep is full of bells and whistles that my old Jeep didn't have.
Yes.
And I've caught myself a couple times. I'm like, all right, where's the thing to turn the air up again? And I'm
Yes.
like, oh crap,
yeah.
I need to drive.
Yeah.
And there's more things they put in the car.
Yeah.
The
More gadgets, more.
and dumb 50-year-old man's like, what
Yeah.
is this for
And then it
again?
tells you cannot operate while moving.
Yeah,
There's
like-
a reason it says that.
Yeah. So
Do
I've
it.
caught myself doing it just recently because I got a new vehicle. I'm trying to like, oh, where's
So
this
you're waiting to
thing?
get to the light,
Yeah.
and you're trying to do it real quick at the light, and people
I'm
behind
that-
you are honking.
Yeah.
I'm that way in my new police unit right now because it's all different than my other one, and I'm so thankful for this one that I have now. It's very nice, and we've set it up nice. It looks great, but to control the inside, I'm like, man, which button is this?
Right,
You don't know what does what. You don't want to turn on something.
Don't touch it.
Next thing you know, it starts yelling at you. It's like,
Yeah.
is this like a party hat button? What does this button do? I just got yelled at.
I had one person tell me, "Hey, your screen's not as big as mine on mine," and I'm like, because it's one of the people from the public, and I'm like, I don't want it to be too big because I don't want to watch a movie on it while I'm driving. I just want to see the deal, and sometimes you have to use the map thing or whatever,
Right.
because. But
Next thing you know, they're going to put the what
But
those movies with the big screens?
Yes.
What are they called? my brain just completely.
IMAX.
IMAX, thank you. We're going to put
yeah.
IMAX screens in there.
But that's what I
Fold down.
that's why I said, why do you need such a big screen on there to tell you what radio station you're listening to or whatever?
I got a big one now. Like it's like this long.
That's why I said, and then they even have some in front of the driver, and I'm like, holy.
It's
cow,
actually
that's
two
fine.
screens. You can
Yeah.
see like
But-
Yeah.
But I will say this: when you reach our age, they could do a little bit bigger with the buttons
Yeah,
because
But
we're like
instead
this.
of giving me a bigger
Hold on.
screen,
Yeah.
give me the one I can make it bigger.
Right.
We funny thing.
Oh, I know.
Funny thing in our office, we wrote some stuff on the board, on the board, and one of the deputies goes up there and they're like that, and we're watching them like,
what
what are
is
they
he
doing?
doing?
Yeah, what are they doing? But it's because we're so used to that.
Right.
Everything.
You forget. And you're like,
Yeah, you're just like, okay, let me. What?
It's bad when I catch on this computer because this is just a mouse click, and I'll be like, okay,
Yeah,
man.
what? Yeah.
Or when
Oh.
both of us wear
Yeah.
reading glasses and like,
Yeah.
what does that button say? I don't know. Let me look real quick.
And the way I'm going, like these are like trifocal.
Yeah.
So I can't really read screens without.
Yeah. I can't even.
And so I have computer glasses. So sometimes I'm doing this and swap with this, and then. But to be honest, I see my phone and everything better without glasses on at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see mine at all.
Yeah.
So the phone I can see.
Yeah.
But if you hand me a piece of paper, and this is what I tell them, why do you give me something that's so little?
Yeah.
That I'm looking at it,
font.
and so now when I go into the commission meetings, I have Janet print my stuff out. I look like I'm walking in with one of those rolled up scrolls.
It's like those books from second grade that had the giant letters and the giant
one word on the
Reading
first
through
line,
it.
second line, and I'm like that. The bird, whatever.
He's got 3
it is.
pages
Yeah.
for commission.
Yeah.
That's a big word. I need 3 pages.
And I had the LASIK surgery done about 10 years ago, and I can see perfectly far away.
Gotcha.
But
I'm
one
the
of
opposite.
the things they told me is that whenever you got the LASIK surgery, it would take away your ability to see up close as you get older. Well, at that time, you're not thinking about it.
Right. Like it's fine.
And
Near
so
or
I was
far?
like, what?
Now you're like.
And now, and you hate to put on your glasses, because I'm not used to wearing them, so they always sit right here anyway, and I'm like this.
Oh yeah, and when the farther down the nose, the older and
The older
and
you
less,
are.
Yeah, but it's like I told them, hey, as long as I'm able to see it, and I never carry my glasses with me because I don't use them to see far.
I'm the same way.
So then when I get to the restaurant that has dark lighting or the smallest thing, I'm having to take a picture with my phone and
blowing
then
it up,
blow it up all the way. Or
I see that. And any sit-down restaurant, you can walk by. There's at least one table doing the exact same thing every time.
Yes,
I'm like that, looking at it, just
small,
make it bigger, and I'm like, man, that's crazy.
It's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
And it's,
they're like,
Especially if you get in and forget your glasses.
Yeah, did you see the sides? I haven't got to that yet. I don't even know where it's at on this page. Because you can't even see. Make the word sides at least.
You want to hear me cuss? Watch me put a frozen pizza into the oven or whatever. Like I'm trying to read the oven instructions. Like,
oh yeah,
is that 375 or 305? I can't read that.
Yeah.
It either goes in for an hour or 3. I'm not sure which.
Yeah. You burn 1 minute, a 1 minute little thing. Yeah.
That's why at my house the best pizzas that smell a little bit of burn on it.
Right.
No, it's
yeah, I find that, or pill bottles. That's another one. It's like, y'all do this on purpose. Only people need these old people. Why you make them?
Thank God for
little.
color.
Yeah.
Scan this and then you order another one. Oh, no, I didn't want to order.
Yeah, you gotta make the pills look like M&Ms and different things just so we know. I need a purple one, a
I'll
blue
take
one.
a red and
I need that one that looks like something that doesn't go in your mouth.
So, I was gonna mention some things real quick about some of the things that we
Yes, yeah. Let's
purchased.
talk serious stuff.
Yeah. So here
some goodies.
in the very near future, we're gonna have our license plate readers up and working.
Oh, cool.
They're gonna be in certain intersections throughout.
So whenever people drive through, it's scanning all license plates.
It scans up to 100 license plates.
You don't know
in a minute
how valuable of a tool that is. Like there's people that are wanted. It red flags them, and it's amazing.
Not only does it scan it, but it takes a picture of it.
Gotcha.
So that way, if let's say a vehicle comes up wanted or whatever, or stolen or whatever, right now, especially with all the things of parental people violating the parental orders,
absolutely,
or kids missing,
you
or
start
whatever.
getting those Amber Alerts.
Yeah,
and
Amber
things.
Alerts. We can get those. They scan, and then it will show you a picture of their vehicle, and it shows you exactly where they were.
Yeah, Silver Alerts, Amber Alerts, those are valuable.
With that vehicle.
Yeah,
and so those. We're gonna have those all around,
and understand those aren't speeding cameras. They're not.
No.
They're not going to
Right.
the look. They're here scanning license plates. And if you're good, nothing's going to happen to you.
Up
But
to
if you're wanted,
100 a minute.
yeah. But if you're wanted, you might see some action after that. I'm just saying.
And the reason they went with the
They're an awesome
license
tool.
plate
instead
of just having the license plate come across, but also the picture, is because people will take license plates off, or they'll put different license plates
absolutely.
on. Well, that
so
doesn't
it's like,
work
wait a minute,
anymore.
that license is registered to a blue pickup that's sitting on a white Pinto.
And it'll
That ain't
flag
gonna
that.
match. Yeah.
And so it will flag that, and then we'll let us know.
It's
hey, this is
amazing
what's going on.
How it
But
does.
so we've got those going up. We've got some other things that we're looking at getting here in the very near future. Right now you have a Narcan system that we still can call the task force over. Yeah, which is True Narc, and they can scan items in packages.
Okay.
But we don't have anything like that, so the guy still will have to handle and deal with packaging where with fentanyl to kill you.
Right.
Testing,
Yeah,
drug
that's
just to touch
testing.
Yeah.
So this, you just point it at it, and it will tell you what it is. So we're getting.
Gotcha.
We're
So it's a safer way to test this, so less exposure to the officer.
Without opening the bag.
Exactly.
So,
which is a big, huge problem. I mean, how many times do officers accidentally come in contact with it and then have to be medically treated?
Well, and the reality is that, you look at the cost up front. Okay. But what is the reality? Is that comparable to workman's comp? Is that comparable to a life? Is it comparable to,
And that's the scariest
Well,
part.
it's no different than like the people with the drug needles in their pockets, and then you guys are going through their pockets to get pricked with the needle, and next thing you know, you're dealing with hepatitis or whatever going on there. And so it's no different. That's why they ask you these questions. You got any needles in there, man, before I stick my hand in here? This is why it's no different. Same with the fentanyl.
Yes.
You know, if they breathe it, ingest it, contact, touch it, and it can kill them.
Yes,
and so it is very. So it's this is a huge tool here. It is a big one.
It's an awesome tool.
Yeah.
And so we're just some of the deputies just went to human trafficking classes and doing all these different things, and those license plate readers will assist with that. Anything that comes across the checkpoints or whatever, we're going to be. And so our surrounding counties, some of the counties like Lee County and Eddy County, they're rich, so they have
a lot of those.
A lot of those cameras.
They got more oil money than we do.
Yes. And so they're rich. So they have.
So they've been in place down there for a bit.
Yeah. So they have.
Well, I know big cities and stuff have been doing this for years.
Yes.
So
now
it's great that we
have every county around us has these now.
Now we're
in it, and so now the communication and the tracking of individuals is going to be so much
lot better.
Absolutely
better.
Yeah, because you can follow them now. It's like now they're heading into Eddy County. Now we can keep, or now they're going into Lee.
Now they're doing this,
and now you can apprehend them safely.
And it tracks the time, everything.
Which eliminates the high-speed chases and all the stuff we were kind of talking about earlier.
Yeah. So we're working on because we're coming up on the end of the year. We're working on our budget now to actually get a line item, a separate line item for our SWAT team.
Okay.
One thing that you don't realize is how much it costs to do training on SWAT. Because you got to do
based on the nature of the work that it's because they get. I'm going to take a stab that if there's any kind of military style training in law enforcement, those are the guys that get the closest to it.
Well, they get it, but
so the training is constant.
The firearm, the ammunition, the different types of things that we've got.
They're testing for battle. Or training for battle is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Impact weapons that we have, they're having to use a lot of money. So it's been running us about $10,000 a month.
And I'm sure they're probably geared up just very equivalent to a U.S. government soldier with the the latest in technologies and everything from the vests to the night vision to the helmets to the weaponry, all that stuff. Yeah.
And I'm going to look to ask for 4 more deputies. The reason I'm doing that is because one thing that we have seen more of in the last couple of years than I've ever seen here is the weather, the dust storms. We're having to utilize our people to keep people from getting killed in the dust.
Sure.
And it's harder to respond to calls because everybody's tied up on other things. So
we're
if I
pulling
get
detectives out, everybody out.
So if I have more people, and there's never a negative to that.
Right.
Because even on the good days, now I just have more people out patrol.
Absolutely.
So there's no negative to it. But what we don't ever want to be
stuck.
is not able to provide the services that
guess what? We're not solving as many cases because my detectives are all out on beat or out on a beat.
Respond to calls.
Yeah, exactly.
They're stuck right there
because everybody's out there.
Exactly.
And that's where the PD and the state police and all of us are working great together right now in helping with those types of situations.
Sure.
But if you've seen here these last couple of dust storms, it's also been in Roswell.
Absolutely.
It's been in it, and it hits the valley and out by the relief route where there's open fields. The dust is like powder.
Oh yeah,
and it is just it covers everybody, and the people who are put at risk the most are the law enforcement, fire.
I imagine it gets very similar images to like what you saw at 9/11 with the Trade Center and when they came down and that's what we're talking about. Something similar to that is what we're seeing.
It is really similar to that.
Yeah.
Because they all come out of there the same way. We all come out snotty noses.
Yeah.
Faces
Raccoon
covered.
face.
Yeah. You got you really truly you look like, if you ever watch Crocodile Dundee, you look like one of those Aborigines. When you come out, you're all covered in the white powder. It looks like. But it's it's something that we're working on, and there's never a negative to having more police officers.
Right. And that's the beauty of, law enforcement is regardless of if they're sitting behind the desk monitoring the office or they're detective or SWAT, every one of them can do the job of law enforcement.
That's exactly
every one of them will arrest you. Every one of them will help you. Every one of them will.
Every one of them's a deputy.
Yeah, they have the full scope of what a law enforcement officer's duties and rights are. They have it.
And we're four positions down right now. We get close to being completely full, and someone retires or something else happens where another agency offers them more money.
Absolutely.
And they go.
It's a cutthroat business.
Yeah, it's a cutthroat business, and they do. They come in and they recruit.
Everyone thinks the grass is greener sometimes.
And they do.
And I'm going to take a stab. Is you probably have a few people that they go, and then a year or two later they're like, Sheriff,
within a month or two,
grass ain't so green over here.
Within a month or two, they're back, but I will tell you this: I am very blessed. Chaves County is blessed by the deputies that we do have. They're very committed to this community. They're very much
approachable. Very
much.
Just people of the
They're
town.
vested in this community.
Yeah, they're just you and I. They're
really
every
do
man
care.
is what
They're
they are.
from this community.
Yeah, they're every man.
But they're very much a part of this community because this is where they're born and raised.
Absolutely.
A lot. So,
well, this is why they know the things too.
And,
it's like I remember when I was a kid, y'all were doing this stuff. They know.
And it's good for everybody to know who you are, and it's good for you to know everybody. So it's a good thing.
It's that, and that's how. It's just like family, man. How do you get through it? Family. It's no different.
That's how me and him work. We go out, we visit with everybody.
Well,
it's
all about emotion and people. That's the job. That's everything. It's all about how people feel, how people think, and how to navigate through that. I mean, yes, there's the laws and the X's and O's of it, but at the end of the day, you're just people dealing with people and trying to get them through the best of their scenario, what they're dealing with.
And the person who does the job the best is one who takes it personal.
Yeah.
If you actually have
you're vested in it.
You have feelings and say, look, I want this place to be the best, and I also have a feeling of care for you that I don't want to see you injured.
Yep.
So I will work harder to make sure that doesn't happen.
And that respect flows back to you.
Yes.
Too.
The best weapon we have is the voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're out of time, but
right.
thank you so much, and we'll see you guys here in a couple of weeks. And stay safe, and tell all your deputies thank you for what they do. God bless every one of them.
Yes, real quick. Once again, you never need an invitation. You don't need an appointment. Come by the sheriff's office. Visit with us anytime.
Absolutely.
The sheriff or myself. If you'd like us to come out and talk at one of your events, at one of your locations, I'll be doing a talk this afternoon at University High.
Nice.
So, by all means, we're here for you.
That's right.
Yes, we're here for you. So
your community needs, if you need the sheriff's
department, know what's
and
going
stuff,
on? Sure.
Yep. Follow our Facebook page at the Chaves County Sheriff's Office, and you'll learn things. You're going to see things, and we don't.
You guys are always doing updates and things when you're out on the beat, various things and stuff. So
we want the public to know what's going on with their sheriff's office.
It's a good way to keep your finger on the pulse.
That's what we do. So, thank you for having us again.
Anytime, and stay safe. We'll see you next time.
Yes, you will.
Sir.
All right.
Absolutely.
It's 9:00.
That are coming soon. Lutnick went on to say that these types of products are vital to U.S. national security, and it's a security risk for them not to be manufactured domestically. He confirmed that tariffs on pharmaceuticals will also be announced separately. Tasha Stevens reporting.
And in the face of sharply higher U.S. tariffs, Chinese leader Xi Jinping has hit the road, launching a week of Southeast Asia economic diplomacy. His first stop is Vietnam. 38-year-old Harrisburg man under arrest, accused of breaking into the Pennsylvania governor's mansion and starting a fire. Governor Josh Shapiro, his family, and guests were asleep at the time. The man's motive, beyond a stated hatred of Shapiro, is not clear. In any event, no one was hurt. Latest Russian attack on Ukraine kills at least 34 people.
This is an attack that happened just 2 days after the U.S. sent its most senior envoy to St. Petersburg in Russia, as it continues to try and end this war or bring a ceasefire closer.
The BBC's James Waterhouse. This morning, the Blue Origin rocket company launched Jeff Bezos' fiancée into space with an all-female celebrity crew that included Katy Perry, Gayle King. The new Shepard rocket blasting off this morning from West Texas on that 10-minute, fully automated mission. The Dow is up 387. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Of the future, here it is, at least according to some people, and how it pans out, well, time will tell.
Expo 2025 Osaka opens on Sunday. More than 10,000 people sang Beethoven's Sixth Symphony. It's a showcase of futuristic exhibits inside about 80 pavilions, including one from the U.S. designed by Christian Lachelle.
World Expos are important because they celebrate the best in humanity and the best of what we can do collectively about the future.
Exhibits of cutting-edge technology like robots and flying cars, as well as pop culture. I'm Julie Walker.
Turkey has begun a new phase in sweeping restorations of the nearly 1,500-year-old Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. This phase of the work focuses on preserving the monument's historic domes from the ever-present threat of earthquakes. News and analysis at townhall.com. A beloved pet is back home.
A tortoise named Myrtle reunited with its family in Mississippi after disappearing during a tornado. The family returned to find pine trees had fallen on top of Myrtle's backyard home, and he was missing. Yes, Myrtle is a boy. A neighbor found the injured tortoise, took him to a rescue group, and the family was contacted. Family members say they're very thankful, and by the way, they might want to consider changing his name to Bill or George, anything but Myrtle. Jason Walker reporting.
A significant tragic day in American history. It was on this day in 1865 that President Lincoln was shot, mortally wounded at Ford's Theater in D.C. He died the following day at 7:22 a.m. As Secretary of War Stanton remarked at the time, now he belongs to the ages. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Yes. Welcome to it.
Interesting. The end of the news hitting you with a little Civil War.
Oh, really?
History there. Yeah, because actually on this date in 1865 is when Lincoln was assassinated.
Oh.
And, this would have been in the evening of April 14th.
That feels very odd that I've already brought Lincoln up in the group text today, and that's the second mention of him.
Yeah, he was. He went to go see the play Our American Cousin. at Ford's Theater. Got
I hear he
shot.
wasn't a fan.
No.
Especially not for that second act.
Yeah. And then they, right after he was shot, Booth jumped off the stage, did his thing, and then rode off. And then they literally put Lincoln on the door of the booth he was in, and they carried him across the street to the house, which they put him in a bed there in the room, in the back room there, which he later died at like 7. I think they said 7:22 on the news there the next morning. The 15th.
Gotcha.
So technically dies on the 15th, but he was shot tonight. So yeah, he was too tall for the bed, so they had to kind of
Really?
angle him. Matter of fact, if you go, I highly recommend you go to DC, go to Ford's Theater. It's because they've rebuilt the theater to look pretty much how it did at the time of Lincoln. Most of it is all because that theater's been gutted, it's been fired. There's been a lot that's happened to that theater since the time that Lincoln was
I would
assassinated.
imagine, yeah. It's been
but it is still a working
some years.
theater to this day, and they basically designed it to look like it did in that time period. I think the only thing that's original in that room is the booth where Lincoln was at. There's a picture of George Washington, a portrait, and there's some bunting around it. That picture was there. That's the picture.
So that's the original. That was,
yeah.
So is his booth still like accessible or like
yes
usable?
and no.
Okay.
They don't let people. I think every once in a while they'll let some people walk up because you got to go up these little stairs.
So it's like the
and a
bell
little door.
tower at Casa Bonita.
Yeah. It's you just can't. I think you can walk up to where the door to the entrance to the booth, but I don't think they let you up in the
Right.
booth.
They plexiglass it off or something.
But the cool part is downstairs there's a museum that they've and it's got everything. If you were interested in the artifacts of that assassination, it's all there, from the Derringer pistol that Booth used to assassinate Lincoln, the hoods that the conspirators wore when they were hung for the assassination conspiracy, including Mary Surratt's, all the Atzerodt, all those guys. The ropes, I think the ropes are there too. The cloak Lincoln
We
was
should have told me we were talking about this. I brought my harmonica.
the cloak that Lincoln was wearing the night of with the bloodstains.
Oh, wow.
The sleeve has been ripped off because of souvenir hunters. The sleeve has been since returned, but the way it's displayed, it's not attached to the coat. It's in there, but it's not attached to the coat. The pillow, which Lincoln's head was on, he died, you see the blood on it, that's all there.
His huge...
And then you can walk across the street to the house where he died and see the layout, the parlors where the families were, the actual room where he died in, and all that.
Just because I'm an old school drama nerd, did the show go on?
I believe.
I've always wondered that. Did they ever finish the play?
I'm pretty sure the play did cease.
Okay.
They did not finish.
I mean,
that
no,
night.
I understand. It's definitely extenuating circumstances, but if you've ever watched as a pro wrestling fan, okay,
right.
there was. I hate to bring this up, but there was years ago a pay-per-view called Over the Line. This was in 1999, and it's the famous Owen Hart story. Owen Hart, as the Blue Blazer, was supposed to be lowered down, but because of his clasp, which was supposed to be quick release, he dropped 80-some-odd feet, and they finished the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was a bit morbid.
They cut to Jeff Jarrett literally in tears after watching his best friend, and he had to cut a promo. So I just wonder if, like, in the Lincoln scenario, if they're like, well, fellas, you know what we've got to do, right?
And if I remember right, the live audience didn't know what was going on for a while.
Sure.
And then they finally
when you're in a
figured it
theater,
out.
you got to imagine you immerse yourself in that experience, so you figure that's part of it.
Yeah, where I think the TV people and everything kind of knew, but it was kind of
because you know there was some guy sitting in Ford's, just in like the main thoroughfare down like with the groundlings, and he sees all this go down and goes, wow, this is an immersive experience.
Right.
To get with the Lincoln people to set all this up. And who made this fake blood? It has to be pig's blood or ox's blood or something. And then you find out after the fact, you're like,
oh no, that was real. Yeah, but yeah, if you go to DC, add it to the list, because it's a little off the mall. It's because the malls, where the Smithsonian's
it's
are
off
all
strip,
at.
Gotcha.
It's in off. It's closer to where what would have been Chinatown. Where it used to be Chinatown, that area now, but then since actually where the Caps and the Wizards play now is that area, and that's kind of. But 13th Street is where it's at.
Okay.
Matter of fact, back in the 90s, this was kind of when in the 80s, kind of the Planet Hollywood, the Hard Rocks were like a block over. I don't think they're there anymore. They closed up. But they had Hard Rock, and they had one of the Planet Hollywoods, the one with Arnold and Bruce Willis, and I think Stallone, didn't they? They started a restaurant together for.
Yeah, that was Planet Hollywood, I believe.
Yeah, that was Planet Hollywood. I think they're all out of business now.
Oh yeah. There's talks that they might bring the name back to use it for like certain like resorts. Yeah. And that a new consortium of celebrities might
dust
be involved.
off my Planet Hollywood t-shirts.
That's right. Relevancy rides again.
Okay, but I just remember that was always the Spy Museum's not too far from Ford's Theater and all that, and the cat. But highly recommend that too. There's a Five Guys around the corner too.
And to think all this stuff was just sitting around there when Lincoln was shot. There, Planet Hollywood straight down the way. Nobody did anything about it. You hear gunshots firing off. Stallone's down
Maybe
here.
if you had a Five Guys first, it would have been there, messed it all up.
So many fries that would have absorbed the bullet.
Yeah. And in all truth, right next to Ford's Theater, there was a bar at the time.
Okay.
And that's where Booth hung out.
Right.
Because he knew the play. He's an actor, and so he's literally drinking, getting his liquid courage up, waiting for his cues to go do. Because he has this particular time in the play that's got a big laugh.
Sure.
And he knows that's when he's going to do it.
That's his cue.
Yeah.
So when he was waiting, did he sit at the bar or in a booth? The John Wilkes booth.
Did the bars have booths back then?
I would think, yeah. Because, even back then, you needed a corner of the bar to cry into your beer.
Yeah, I feel like just a round table.
Right.
The booth was invented in 1902 by great-great-grandnephew of John Wilkes Booth.
By
Cecil
the way,
Booth.
and I know this is like one of the only questions that server or hosts get to ask anymore, but the answer is always Booth.
Yes.
It's always Booth. It's always going to be Booth. Who wants a table?
Yes.
Out in the middle of the restaurant like I'm eating on display for you people?
Yes, exactly. But anyway, go check it out. It's pretty cool. If you ever go to DC, highly recommend.
I'm genuinely curious. I'd love to go check it out.
Historical place to check out.
DC seems like just one of those weird juxtapositions of a lot of, like you were saying, it's like one moment you're immersed in the story of the assassination of an American president, and next thing you know, you're down the street getting a quarter-pound cheeseburger and a bag full of fries,
Well, then you hit it's all America's history,
Sure.
Right there. Oh, here's Vietnam. Here's Korea history. Now more. Here's the MLK thing. Here's
the aforementioned Chinatown, and Chinatown's got something for everybody.
Yeah, they got all that stuff. But it's a city like anything else. Good parts and bad parts.
Sure.
But that part used to be the bad part. Now it's a better part because it's, I believe the term gentrification is kind of what's going on.
Yeah. It's smoothing over of the rough spots.
There you go.
Is what we're going to call it.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a minute. Then we'll be here in just a few minutes joined by the folks from Bush Appliance. We're going to have James King, James Madrid, Nick V, and Rupert Guzman all join us here. So we'll talk. I know they got their spring clearance going on. Of course, they do everything from appliances to build your cabinets, kitchens, all that good stuff. So we'll
Bush
talk all
Appliance,
that.
woodworking, all the good stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk all that with those guys here in just a bit. But Foist, here is your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Temperatures stay pretty comfortable for the next few days. We have a cool high-pressure system moving in from the central Rockies. We'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Upper 70s to low 80s and a little bit breezy. Overnight, some clouds and low to mid-50s, and then we'll stay nice on Tuesday. It'll be a sunny day and afternoon highs in the mid-70s. We're back to about 90 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 59 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36%. Winds are blowing out of the north at 16 miles per hour. Sunny today, highs near 80, 79 officially, with winds out of the north 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, looking at an overnight low of 52 degrees. Winds will be out of the east 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny, a little cooler tomorrow. That's unusual. It usually gets warmer from here, but right tomorrow, a little cooler. 74 for a high tomorrow. East winds 5 to 10 early, shifting to the south, and increasing 15 to 20 for Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday night, clear, overnight low of 49. Winds will be breezy out of the south, 15 to 20, dropping down 5 to 10 after midnight. Wednesday, sunny into the 90s, 91 for a high with south winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, going to be windy, areas of blowing dust, sunny, and a high of 93. Blowing dust continues into Thursday night. Friday, mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 84. And then rain chances for the weekend, a 30% chance at showers on Saturday, mostly sunny and 78. 40% for Saturday night with an overnight low of 48. And 20% on Sunday, mostly sunny, 73 otherwise there. All right, 8:17, we're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then we'll have the folks from Bush Appliance join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Roswell, during these unprecedented times when others are raising prices, Roswell Ford is lowering ours with employee pricing for everyone. So you pay what we pay. Only at Roswell Ford. Make no payments for 90 days. Upside down in your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford can help you get out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. So you can pay what we pay today with employee pricing to all customers on new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, and we have them for less. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you and perform oil changes, tire rotations, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. For massive American-made savings and employee pricing for everyone. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced to new loan subject to lender approval. Offers not combined. Expires in 1 cent.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
On Saturday, April 19th at 7 p.m., join the Spencer Theater and Eric Ellison for a heartfelt Gordon Lightfoot tribute. Known as the Lightfoot of the Rockies, Ellison will perform classics like The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, If You Could Read My Mind, and Sundown. Don't miss this evening of iconic melodies. Get your tickets online at spencertheater.com or by calling the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
This is the time of year we can get all 4 seasons in just one day. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. 1 minute you're sweating in the sun, and the next minute you've got slush in your shoes. But that's winter in Roswell, and after 127 years, we're starting to get used to it. It's too early to plant very much, but you can fertilize pecan trees, spray for dandelions, order your bees, and pick up a new seed catalog. So come see us at Roswell Seed. Like Jim Gill would say, enjoy the warm days, but don't go far from the fire.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true. Trusted.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning, we got hopefully not everybody from Bush Appliance. Hope there's a few more people back at the store.
Couple people working this morning.
We got a few people working here. But James King, James Madrid, also Nick B, and Rupert Guzman as well. Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Which, I was kind of talking, we were talking off air here, and, I look at, like Roswell community, we have legacy businesses you just know for years and years. It's like you need that thing, you go to that place to get the thing, and Roswell Seed's definitely one of those businesses. But I would say Bush Appliance is also one of those businesses. Now, granted, I've been here since 2000, and you guys have been here that long at least.
Yeah,
that long at least. And so in my head, I'm like, you go Bush, and things come and go, but you guys, when it comes to appliances, to remodels, kitchen, remodels, things like that, you're kind of you're what Roswell knows for hundreds of years.
Well, since 1973.
They were in the 1780s before they even had appliances. Bush Appliance was around.
We were there.
Not that old.
We actually invented appliances.
That's right.
There we go. Yes, sir.
We knew we were going to sell electric stoves one day. But in all seriousness, guys, really, it's a legacy name. It's a thing, and so. I guess for you guys, the pressure's on to just keep the reputation, right? I mean, when you're known for a thing and you do a thing, and you're doing the thing for a long time, the moment you guys slip up a bit, everyone knows about it. You know what I mean?
That is a fact.
So is that kind of the biggest challenge of keeping a business like this? That reputation, keeping
the reputation, and of course at the heart of everything is customer service, and that's really what, by design, that's what we do and what we've done best for all these years.
Well, that's why this is where this is the local difference versus the big box store stuff. I mean, let's face it, you can at the end of the day probably will find an appliance and save a few dollars from a big box store, But do you know what you're getting? What's the service? What's the follow-on? And let's face it, a stove breaks every once in a while. Refrigerator breaks every once in a while.
And to touch on that, what separates us from some other businesses who do sell appliances in town is we do service all of our warranties. We service everything we sell.
Absolutely.
So that's a big key in customer retention is them knowing that if something goes wrong, they have someone to call.
And I would also argue you guys are a little pickier on what you put on your shelves.
Yeah, we want to make sure it works. And we usually, when we spot an issue, we spot it pretty quick. Within the first order, usually we'll have 2 or 3 in a row that's going out. We have that problem, so you
can smell the lemon when it's coming.
We can it right away and
absolutely
and wait for it to get fixed.
And that's that's where you pass that knowledge and expertise on to your customers and stuff. So because most of us aren't. I want a refrigerator. Like, what do you want? I want to make cold things cold, and so hot things hot. And of course nowadays everything's you got to have a computer to. Oh well, this refrigerator will tell you when you're out of milk, and it'll tell you when we go from that high techy. But believe it or not, you kind of need a Sherpa with appliances sometimes nowadays. It's not just like turn the stove on 350. All right, it's all and that's where coming local, talking. I'm pretty sure every one of your customers. Especially when they buy a high-tech appliance, they're going to know every bell and whistle how that works. Is very, and I'm just saying, when you go big box store shopping, you're lucky if they get it delivered to you in the place you wanted it to.
Yeah,
let alone how to work it, how to do it. That's a big difference. Yeah. It's all great if you got a high-tech fridge, but if you don't know how to do any of it or how to work any of it, what's the point of having it?
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
That's why I said when it is time to make those decisions, that's when you say maybe let's go see Bush Appliance. Let's go talk to them. Let's talk about it. You have a great website. You guys can go sit in your underpants and look at their website and see all that stuff, and then build some questions and stuff. Then come on down and put your clothes on. Then come on down.
And our delivery guys will actually they're knowledgeable as well in products that we sell.
Absolutely.
So if customers have any questions on installation, they will show them how to use it as well. So they're not just.
And I have
wondering.
firsthand on that one. We actually pull back the curtain. I'd say about 6 months ago, we bought a new fridge from you guys there. And great experience. Came in, and my wife literally walked in there and we went online first and kind of said, something in this ballpark. And then we kind of looked at this and delivered, set up everything, and took the old one out, and all I had to do was come home and open the fridge. It was really nice.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, I had to wait for the ice to make, but you guys can't. You guys can't have. You guys don't have time machines yet to pre-fill ice machines. So.
We're working on
Maybe
it.
soon.
But we talk about the appliance side, but when it comes to remodels and things, when it's time to do the cabinets, when it's time to do the upgrades in the bathrooms and the kitchens, Bush Appliance, they can, from soup to nuts, everything in that room they can pretty much handle for you.
Absolutely.
From the appliances to the cabinets to everything. Do you guys do the flooring and everything too, or do we call in other people for that?
We do flooring as well.
Excellent. So you got all that covered. Yeah. So even the flooring and stuff. What don't you do then?
Plumbing and electrical. We don't do electrical or plumbing.
There you go. So we call in those experts for the electrical
we're
plumbing.
Trying to do the realm of everything else as a full remodel.
Sure. But as far as hooking everything up, you guys do all that. So when you like you won't, like, say you get a fridge and there's no water line hooked up, you guys get the plumber come in and run that line, and then you guys will come in and make sure it hooks up to your fridge. And
make sure you're getting the ice.
RO or whatever it's hooked up to and everything else, and your ice and all that good stuff. But yeah, and so if it's time to update the kitchen cabinets or the countertops and all that, maybe, especially, it seems like the real estate market's getting, it's heating up again. And now and a lot of times, people will do work like this to get more value out of their home. So maybe if you're trying to, say, maybe we're trying to sell or maybe you're just, no, we bought the house 20 years ago and cabinets were nice back then, but they're not really fashionable nowadays. Yeah. So let's upgrade. But if maybe it's that time too where you want to sell the house, but no one's buying because your cabinets look like the ones on the Brady Bunch. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like the kitchen is a selling point and a focal point. So even if you just want to do the remodel to stay there,
sure. Well, and I know at the end of the day, the less work people have to do when they move in on stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like if it's carpet worn out and you're kind of like, well, they may not want carpet, then you have that negotiation. But everyone doesn't want a crummy kitchen. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, we can argue about countertops and granite versus whatever, quartz or whatever the different options are out there. But if it's new and clean, everyone's good with it. You know what I mean? It looks clean. It looks like someplace you might want to cook a meal in. then they're happy with it.
Yeah, many times we can utilize the space that they have and give them more storage with cabinetry. Because
find little nooks and crannies that were filled in with something else before or just weren't laid out right to do that. Yeah.
And, cabinets have a lot of options that they didn't have in the past. If you have a kitchen from 1970, there's so much more hardware options today than there was back then.
Well, I imagine even, like you ever see, like, those companies that do, like, those crazy, like, bedroom closets and all that stuff? Mm-hmm. They kind of do that with kitchen cabinets and stuff now. I mean, maybe not to that level, but, like, if you're designing for cups and stuff, they kind of make, it's not just 3 little shelves in there anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, no, this is specifically to put coffee mugs, or this is specific to hold spices, or whatever that is.
Yeah, there's tons of options.
Yeah, like you always see those cool. Everyone watches the HG TV shows every once in a while. You get stuck on there, and they're doing a remodel of a kitchen, and always, ooh, look, it's a built-in spice cabinet. That is so cool. Yeah, you guys do all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
That's so we can, because we all, and I know the spice cabinet thing. We all, in theory, want it organized. It's never. Like one time when you put it in, it was organized, but then it's just a sea of. I got 37 paprikas in here. What happened?
Got the 3 main ones up front. And
There's a couple steak seasons you always go through, some chupacabra or something.
Yes,
but in the back there's like 3 cumins from like.
Got
1970.
You got expired salt back there from the 80s.
Like Italian seasoning. When's the last time I bought this? See, now they can help you out with that, all that stuff too. But bathroom remodels as well too. Do all of that stuff and the tub tile, all that work and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's kind of the trends now in bathrooms? What's kind of, I mean, there's always tried and true, but are people like, is there certain styles that people are into right now?
They're moving into like solid surfaces, more of like more solid walls instead of like smaller tile pieces how they used to be.
Kind of these less lines, cleaner looks,
cleaner,
kind of
like
thing.
solid, just
more sleek
inserts and shelves.
Gotcha. Kind of a modern look. I guess
more
you could
modern.
Say.
With like widening it out a little bit, I guess, not just a straight tub, you know.
Sure.
So making like corner showers.
Sure,
And
it looked like something
that.
like an adult man could fit in.
Right. Exactly. You know, 'cause you see the stand-up showers where you're standing on the wall.
Right. But even like some
know.
tubs, you're like, I'm gonna get a tub, and then if you're like 6 foot tall, I don't have this problem, but some do.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, it's like my knees and my chin are right next to each other here, you know, in the tub. But you know, so they're coming bigger, deeper, and things
And
like that.
the waterfall showers, you know, like some of these showers you get into now, you got to duck to get underneath the head. You know? So I mean,
Well, I think like everyone wants like when they look for an inspiration, they think of like some kind of like tropical waterfall place. So they want those like rain showers and the you know, some kind of tub with a fall like thing or something, which is nice. I get you. It's supposed to be your chill zone, right?
Yeah.
Your bathroom. That's kind of your serenity and all that. But you guys do all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Do you get everything like what's like is there like a crazy like what's like the wildest thing you ever put in a bathroom? Do you remember anything like Elvis, like some weird bidet or something? I don't know. Is there any weird requests?
no, we haven't got that yet. But I'm sure we might run across it.
The golden toilets are on back order right now.
Like, you've ever seen like any crazy toilets like that where they're like got remote control systems and
on the remotes? Not so much. Some of the things that I've seen that which actually are newer, but kind of go back in time where the tank is separate from the tub and you pull the string.
I kind of dig those. Yeah, you know, it's kind of, you know, that's how they used to be. But I guess, you know, it's kind of that retro new look. You know
it
what
kind
I
of gives
mean?
you a contemporary but old at the same
It's like in the
time.
80s where we were for a minute, everyone had like old timey phones that worked like regular phones. They had the rotary or whatever, but they had the hand for that and the other thing. You remember?
You're dating me now.
Yeah.
I was like, does he remember that? I don't know.
I remember.
We've seen it in movies.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
Watch a movie from the 80s. There's bound to show up in there.
We had a
One of the Home
rotary phone.
Alones maybe or something.
No. My first phone slid up.
Hey, I remember when there was a minute when the coolest phone you had was the Sports Illustrated football phone.
Now that's something I could get behind.
If you
right
signed
there.
up for like a 5-year subscription to Sports Illustrated, they gave you a football phone.
Was it a team phone or just a standard?
I think this one was just an NFL.
Okay.
It was just the standard NFL football, the NFL logo, and the phone was hidden like where the stripes, where the stitches were.
And
that
it
was
did
like
have
the
a
hit.
cord.
Yeah, it did have a cord.
Okay.
Oh yeah, with a cord.
Was it one of those that was on top and then half the ball? Okay, I do think I've seen those.
Yeah, back in the day.
That would be cool to have in like a game room or something. Yeah, see if Rupert can get that on his list for my bathroom.
You can probably find one. I bet you can find one on eBay or something.
Sure, yeah.
Now. They have them. But in the meantime, as far as appliances, like I know right now you kind of have like a spring clean-out sale. So I imagine if you are looking for appliances, you'll probably find some deals at the store. Right now, too.
And you know, and I don't know, with a lot of these tariffs coming in, appliances are getting ready to go up again. So right now, actually, is a good time to buy from us.
Gotcha. Buy before we see a spike in pricing.
Right. We put in a pretty huge order, so we got a warehouse full and a floor full of stuff, and it's 35% off in most cases. In some cases, a little bit more. In some cases, a little bit less, just depending on what it is. But really, for the most part, across the board, steep discounts and even some rebates.
Nice. So if you're needing, you've been trying to limp along with that refrigerator or that stove or dishwasher, maybe it's time to bite the bullet. Let's get that done, because if you wait too much longer, you might pay twice the amount for this product here down the road. Here.
Yeah, it's going to be probably a minimum of 30% on top of not the sell price.
Gotcha.
So,
Now, is this going to impact you guys across the board too, on even the cabinets and the building stuff too? Because I mean, some of that material's got to probably spike in price too.
in some cases, not so much the cabinets, probably the hardware more than anything.
Gotcha.
Most of the cabinets are built here in the United
America,
States.
so that's not hit by the tariffs. That makes more sense. The stuff coming in now, that's going to be where obviously a lot of the appliance and stuff are made overseas.
Yeah, and I think last I heard was like 20% increase on hardware. But even on appliances, certain appliances that are built here are not subject to it, but the things that are not are going to be hit.
Well,
by
do
the
they
tariffs.
do the move like cars, where like they'll kind of assemble the parts overseas and then put it all together here in the States, kind of deal? Do they do that a lot here?
Some, most of what like Whirlpool, Maytag, and Electrolux were making was built here in the United States.
Gotcha.
With exception to control boards, valves, mostly
Anything with a circuit board,
electronics,
basically, yeah.
harnesses, but
Yeah.
everything like all the
And he's got a
steel stamped
microchip,
and painted.
basically.
But yeah, it's most of the things that we carry are manufactured here in the United States, or are United States manufactured.
Gotcha.
So,
but sometimes the innards aren't, and
yeah.
hence the reason these prices are.
Yeah, well, and some companies are actually moving certain like refrigeration. A lot of it is being built in China now.
Oh, gotcha.
R600 instead of R134A, and so all that stuff that's being built and sent down here is going to be hit by tariffs.
And that's kind of the bigger picture, which it's, for you guys, we don't have to worry about it. Just try to get a deal on a stove, but that's what I think the bigger picture is. The tariffs are trying to bring some of this back. It's like, hey, come back here. We'll get you. We'll give you more economically friendly reasons to come build it back here in the United States.
And we're holding out on that. I mean, realistically, the manufacturers had these facilities in the United States, so they could easily just put them back into commission.
Sure. How is that for the repair side too? Is it going to give you guys a bit of a, because like I said, a lot of these parts come from when you need those parts, so it might cause a little delay there for some folks, depending on the part. I'm going to take an assumption there.
Yeah, I would say maybe a little bit of delay, but even if there's no delay, it's definitely going to increase cost of part.
Oh yeah,
and I mean,
you can find it's supply and demand. People want it, they're going to pay more for it. That's capitalism, folks.
Yeah. Well, in the last 25 years, you've seen it's pretty standardized increase, but really over the last 6 to 7 years, you've seen an even bigger jump.
Sure. Do you all deal with the like the car industry? Like when COVID hit and all that, and the price gouging. Did you guys experience some of that during COVID? Or
we did, but we chose not to gouge.
I didn't know if you guys were the recipient of it. We're like, man, we couldn't get none because they're charging 6 times more.
We couldn't get anything, but we didn't sell above retail.
Right.
I know a lot of places did. We had people calling us.
People remember that stuff. Man.
Yeah,
they do.
And that's that's the basis that we used during that. Is like, you know what, we're not going to do this to our community.
Well, there's a reason
everybody's hurting. So why are we going to?
There's a reason why you're a legacy business. There's a reason why, and it's because of decisions like that. And usually businesses that make those kind of decisions generally aren't around for the length of time that a place like Bush Appliance has been around. So it's tried and true. Yes, there's always great, new, and innovative, and different ways to solve a problem sometimes. But at the end of the day, when it comes to making customers happy, doing a product, providing a service, it's that process does not change.
No,
it does not,
no.
And that's the reason why you guys.
Yeah, we've had our rough spots, but realistically, we bounced back pretty good.
Sure.
And and right now we're doing great. It's good to serve our community. It's good to stay busy. It's good to see people coming through that door every day, and it's a blessing. It's not just something to take lightly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I imagine. Yeah, as a private family business, it's kind of every person that walks through that door, that puts food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's what where you guys keep raising your family. This is how you raise families and things like that, and that's. Bush Appliance has been raising quite a few families for a lot of years now, and that's a good thing.
And touching back on what he said about not raising prices during COVID and stuff like that, customer retention is how we stay afloat.
Well, yeah, because eventually that fridge will break down. Hopefully it's not for another 10, 20 years, but it will at some point. And then when that happens, once you come back in and buy the next fridge for the next 10
Well, and even if they just want to service it, the good thing about the brands that we sell, they do make parts. Whirlpool, Maytag, Electrolux. They've been around a long time, and they will be around a long time for the foreseeable future anyway. So we will always be able to get parts. Not always, you know what I mean?
In a world where they seem to build these things not to last forever, you still got the stuff to keep it as long as humanly possible.
Keep them going as long as possible.
Yeah.
So, they say if you get 10 years out of a product today in any brand, you're doing pretty good. And some of them are worse than others. There's some that we choose to try to stay as far away as we can. But.
Well, and it is trial and error at the end of the day. That's kind of, because especially in the appliance world, because there's so many big names, but they got maybe big, not in the appliance world. You know what I mean? There's certain brands like, they make a fine phone, but what the hell's their refrigerators? You know what I mean?
That's it.
Or, they make a great TV, but I don't know about ovens here. And conversely,
Whirlpool make TVs?
I'm about to say, if I saw Whirlpool TV, I'm a little skeptical. That's all I'm saying.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But the washers.
Well, a Mana stereo system is not, exactly what I'm promoting. I'm just saying.
Well, RCA did make refrigerators.
Of course, back then, though, everything was a tank.
Yes. You couldn't destroy it either. You could drop it off the back of the truck.
Yeah.
It would likely still run.
Absolutely. But and so that's why you need to ask questions and things like, okay, I see this brand, I know the brand, but is it any good? Then you talk to these guys. Say, yeah, well, it's here. We've had good experience with it. So that's why it's sitting here in our showroom and things. But please, please tell us if you've got issues. So we, that's the thing too, is if you do buy something and it's not, doing what it's supposed to be doing, talk to you guys first up, and you guys will, whatever you can do to make it right, we'll do that.
Give us a call.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Call us with questions. And also now one good thing that we have we've got a new phone system, and with our phone system now, the public can text in.
Okay.
So they don't even have to call. If they don't want to talk to us face, they can text it and they'll still get that same face. But,
Okay.
But not over the phone.
Gotcha. So to appeal to you guys, you younger audience, people that don't like face-to-face conversations.
Text us.
I couldn't tell you what that one would be called.
See, after you got off your football phone, you had to go out and meet them.
And even on our website, we got the little chat icon there with the little person that sits there. You would still be talking to a live person,
Gotcha.
not AI.
Gotcha. So that's an actual person. So watch the dirty jokes when you think there's gonna.
Yeah.
You're not real.
We are reading them.
There will be critiqued and graded.
We will talk about it.
Yeah. So that and again, that's a great aspect of you kind of got the best of both worlds, where you got the mom and pop mindset, trust local. You can go right down the street, walk in there, and say, "Hi, James," and then you're only about half the people in the room. But
Which
you can literally,
which one are you looking at?
Right. But you can literally talk to human face, or like you said, if you're like, "Look, I just want to." Get a push a couple
nice
buttons. Next thing you know, I'm getting something going. Whatever your choice is, whether you want to do it old school or more high tech, Bush Appliance got you covered. Either way.
Either way.
I think that is our company question. Which James do you want?
Which James are you looking at?
That is true.
I was gonna say I've been thinking about changing my name to James, so I could just have all the
I think all of them
customers.
should just be James.
They're all mine, right?
Well, you're James now. We only have one name tag here. It just says James. So you're all James now. So if you want to have fun today, walk right into Bush Appliance and say, "I'm looking for James," and just see what happens.
Ask
get
for
some help.
Nick.
Definitely get some help.
I'll just say it's either Big James or Little James. I'll let you guess which one's which.
Yes.
And that'll be fun to do.
Yeah, right?
Do you have a James of average size?
Right here. Right here.
It'll be kind of like George Foreman's house with everyone's named George. Right?
Yeah.
But now I'm going to take a stab. If you're looking to do remodels and that stuff, maybe let's not, maybe start on this line to kind of look it around and stuff. But when you're ready to pull the plug on that one, let's walk in and talk and let's get because that one that's about personality, that's about taste. That's going to be a few more questions than how many cubic feet is this refrigerator?
Right.
Right.
Well, that's when you walk in and ask for Rupert, and that's the only one you're gonna get when you're there. This one.
You're the creative. You're the creative. He's going, I want the guy not James, please.
Me and Rupert will come around here.
It'll be either Nick or Rupert to get here, but you're kind of the guru that does the designer and the. You kind of help with the design, the layout, the whole deal on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we go in to get measurements and get your idea of what you want. We'll put it on paper, on an actual 360 computer design, so you can come in and look at what your kitchen will look like, in the future.
Separate the fantasy part from fiction, because I imagine, because obviously there are rules depending on where things are electriced out or plumbed out for your bathrooms and So if the stove is got its electrical hookups for here, short of getting an electrician to move that somewhere, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
And we do make that possible. So if things do need to move, electrical.
But you will get the plumber and the electrician to move the.
Yeah.
Like if you're moving a toilet, Rupert ain't moving your toilet. He's getting the plumbing guy.
We contract that stuff out.
Yeah, he'll put a new one on top, but the hole in which all goes to, that's getting moved by somebody else.
Yes.
But that is possible, and that's actually the time to and to be honest, depending on the move and stuff, it may not be that much more expensive, depending on the
a few factors. But usually if you want something, in most cases, to move something like that, it's possible, and usually not all that much, depending on the circumstances. But generally, it's pretty affordable.
Yeah, might have to bust up some concrete, but got to break a few eggs before you make an omelet, right?
That's where it comes in the showers in most cases, because people want to do something different. So if they want a French drain, or if they want the drain in the center and offset, so you can get that moved over.
Absolutely. So, all right, I got a question. When is it considered acceptable for a person to be okay with buying the stand-up tub and shower? Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm 51. Going on 52, but every time I see those old people stand-up showers that you get to sit in the tub and they put the door, I'm like, how old do I have to be before I'm allowed to have one of those and not feel judged on?
Yeah, well, that's kind of like the reverse Titanic. Do not open the door when it's a bath.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's a pro tip. Don't open the door when it's full of water. But I ain't gonna lie, that sounds delightful. It's got a chair. It's in the water. Like, you put a wall mount TV, I'm never leaving.
Well, it goes back to what you said earlier. That's your personal space.
Yeah. I know.
So whenever you decide you want that in there, that's when you go.
But I just didn't know, are you going to judge me secretly if I'm, not retired yet and want one of those?
Well, and company, you got a guest bathroom for that, so they don't have to see that.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm just saying.
We'll know, but they won't.
I'm just saying, I don't care what people think. I want that tub.
Get with Rupert.
No judgment zone.
Get with Rupert. He got you.
I mean, you put a cooler or some kind of mini fridge in a.
Never leave, huh?
I might get fired.
Just make sure you get it heated and you have the jacuzzi going all the time.
That's right. Get some Whirlpool jobbers in there. Make the water go. Yeah, we're good.
Well, I think they have his and hers too. So you can, one on each side. And
there you go.
Y'all gonna have chips or whatever, wine.
Be back to back, or maybe like a pilot co-pilot thing or something.
We just suggest not doing your toilets that way.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, no.
Facing each other.
Although if you're going to do that, put one of the toilet paper dispensers just out of the reach of the other stall, just for funsies. All kidding aside, I guess technically if you want all that, they'll do that for you. But if you just want a normal bathroom, a regular toilet and a regular, shower and tub, then they got you covered.
Definitely.
But it's kind of, but that's the cool, that's the, because anybody, like when anybody talks about remodeling a home, what's the two places most people get creative with and wanting? It's kitchen and bathroom. Because weirdly enough, that's, you spend most of your time living, in the kitchen. I mean, how many times is your family just hanging out in the kitchen doing the kitchen?
Every day.
It's like a focal point.
In the bathroom, it's your solstice place. That's your, depending on how many kids you got and everything else. It could be your escape. I mean, but at some place, you want a nice tub to rewind, relax and unwind in, and that's what you guys can bring all that.
Usually you start your day and end the day in the bathroom, so you want it to be a nice, peaceful place.
And you can make it as organized too. So like I get it. Like you got a missus that it's like you got this much counter space, and then for you, and then your wife has got 37 feet of it.
Oh,
we could fix it so you have your own little man zone.
Yeah. and God forbid you leave your toothbrush on the couch.
That's right. We can keep like your 3 products you have, like your deodorant, your toothpaste, and some goop for your beard.
That's it. But that has to go in the drawer.
In your personal spot.
My stuff's always getting moved to a drawer.
Yeah.
Can't ever find it. I'm gonna have Rupert take the drawers out of there, man.
Yeah, but that's when you can have those conversations. Okay, so you can make her Shangri-La, where she can have 37 blow dryers hanging on the wall. Talk to the electrician about getting any of them to work at the same time.
Yes, yeah.
But, in my house, the way our circuits are, it's all the fuse box, everything set up. The bathroom in our bedroom, in our kitchen, where my microwave is and where she plugs her blow dryer, it's on the same circuit.
Oh.
So if I'm microwaving when she has the blow dryer, it does pop the circuit.
Guaranteed. And it's kind of odd that you always have to microwave when she's doing her hair. It's like, man, I got this sudden hunger.
I'm gonna get Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket.
You start hearing the screaming and the hair comes out all crazy.
That's funny.
So what just got hurled at me?
That's right. But
it's like when you're in the shower and they flush the toilet, you hear a little scream.
Oh yeah, yeah. That. In our house, I don't lose temperature. I do lose pressure.
Pressure, yeah.
That's the word. Like it doesn't get cold, thank God, but it does all of a sudden go for a minute. I'm like,
yeah. Most of the faucets that you see today, they have temp control in it, so they adjust it accordingly. But how that works is beyond me.
Pepperidge Farms remembers. I remember back in the day where someone come in and take a pee and flush the toilet and. I remember the
turn on the cold water.
Yeah,
that
ain't right. Why do you hate me?
Well, when you grow up in a house with 3 other siblings, like they do it on purpose.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, if that didn't work, they just actually fill up a cup of water and throw it over the curtain.
There you go. Have some flour too.
By the way, Bush Appliance can design a thing that goes all the way to the ceiling so they can't throw it over.
Locking stalls and everything.
Absolutely. But all joking aside, just all the time, if you're in the need of appliance like right now because of the sale, spring cleanup sale with the tariffs and all this, now's a good time to maybe replace that washer or dishwasher or washer dryer combo or refrigerator or any appliance for your home. Get that stuff taken care of now, and it's fun just to shop sometimes. Go walk the showroom and kick the tires on a few of these bad boys and see what's going on. And of course, if you've been thinking about doing that big remodel of your kitchen or bathroom or both, or maybe you're not getting enough nibbles on your house and it's time to do some maybe work in those 2 rooms, let Bush Appliance help you build the. You know what? They might build it so good. You're like, we're not going to move now. Yeah, we're going to stay. I hated this house because of the kitchen. Now I love the kitchen.
We've had it happen.
Get you an island and restart.
Hey, that might be a tactic. Maybe if one is on board for selling, the other isn't. Maybe give Bush Appliance a call. Maybe you can get them on your team to keep them to stay.
That is smart.
Yeah. So, or put it in colors that you absolutely hate, so they'll sell. Like if they're like, I want to move, but they were like, great for a kitchen. I'm going to make it all this weird avocado green, so they're going to sell it.
and the new generation's going to love it.
Sale, then you get your new house, and then we'll give you another new.
There you go. And then you can make it the right color.
Trends do come back around full circle.
Absolutely. What is old? I mean, it seems like every couple of years, like retro-looking appliances come back to be. I mean, they're not retro, but just look retro. It seems like every couple, or they always seem to be a sect of population that's always looking for old-looking appliances that work like new appliances.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
And there is a wide variety of those available today. There's so many companies that are doing it, and they're more of the premium style appliances, but those are available to people.
Absolutely, it's kind of like owning a 57 Chevy with fuel injection and all that other stuff. Yeah, same kind of deal.
Disc brakes all the way around.
Yeah, it's more modern and all that stuff. But come on by, of course, located right there, Country Club. What's the actual address there? The
111 West Country Club.
There you go. I just right there on Country Club next to
Stripes.
Right next to Stripes, and the I think it's a vet right there, and then the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah,
my Dr. Walker is my vet right there. Come on out there. Bushappliance.com is the website, or that'll get you there. I know at least, and you can go check it out. Do you guys do like Facebook or one of those social medias?
We do Facebook as well.
Okay, so like on there.
People like our page and follow our page,
and then finally, what's the tele if they want to just give you a call?
575-622-6390.
Very good. Come on. I highly recommend if you're in the market, get online. While you're sitting here this morning getting ready for your day. Go check out the website, kind of scroll through. You can mark by brand, you can buy appliance, you can see if there's any rebate sales on certain ones, and boom, boom, you can get lost on that website.
And in most cases, the pricing that we have is way cheaper than what's on our website right
now. Good deal.
now.
So again, you look at that and say, all right, and then come on down and let these
get
guys
the sale price,
make a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then next thing you know, they're delivering a brand new appliance to your home. Good deal. Did we get anything we wanted to cover that we just spaced on?
I think we covered most bases.
The gamut?
Yeah.
Including the success of the Sports Illustrated football phone.
Way before their time.
Didn't even get to the Mickey Mouse phone. Well, thank you guys. I'm
Yes,
sure there's
sir.
a few fires at the office for you to stomp out, so I'll let you go get to that.
Absolutely. We appreciate your time.
Yes,
appreciate
sir. Thank
you
you
getting us
very
on
much.
here.
Anytime, and thanks for the fridge, man. I've been
Yeah.
happy ever since. We love it. So,
Awesome. Thank you for your business.
Yeah, especially since
Appreciate
it was replacing a gremlin before. Ooh, boy, how is it? I mean, I was that. You ever seen the movie Office Space?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know the scene where they take that copier out to the field? I almost wanted to take that refrigerator out to the field and just go postal on it.
Hey, Tannerite's legal.
Yeah.
You know, you get enough of it, you can turn it to pieces.
Yeah.
You don't need much.
Maybe I do it from afar, some remotely triggered job or something of it. I want to do ill will things to that thing. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Jason. We
We'll see
appreciate
y'all
it.
next
You
time.
have a good day.
You don't work
Thank
too
you.
hard now. All right, it is 8:57. Let's take a quick break before we get into news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. The New Mexico Department of Health is notifying the public about a potential measles exposure from an unvaccinated child with measles at multiple locations in Hobbs, including a daycare center and a popular restaurant between April 4th and 8th, on Friday the 4th and Tuesday, April 8th, from 10:30 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. both days at the Kids City Daycare at Choose Life Church on Del Paso Street, and then on Saturday, April 5th, from 9:30 to 1:30 at the Denny's Restaurant on North Lovington Highway. As of Friday, April 11th, there are 58 cases and 1 death in New Mexico, so far all in 3 southeastern counties, Lee, Eddy, and Chavez. The Reno Air Racing Association, the organization producing the legendary national championship air races since 1964, continues to propel the future of aviation by expanding a highly successful scholarship program. RARA is now awarding 33 scholarships of $10,000 each to aspiring pilots pursuing their private pilot certificate. In 2024 alone, the group provided 13 additional scholarships to local youth, reinforcing their commitment to supporting the next generation of aviation professionals. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Temperatures stay pretty comfortable for the next few days. We have a cool high-pressure system moving in from the central Rockies. We'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Upper 70s to low 80s and a little bit breezy. Overnight, some clouds and low to mid 50s, and then we'll stay nice on Tuesday. It'll be a sunny day and afternoon highs in the mid 70s. We're back to about 90 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
The Pennsylvania governor's mansion in Harrisburg and set a fire early yesterday morning harbors a strong hatred of Governor Josh Shapiro, although it's not clear why. Shapiro vows to stay the course.
I refuse to let anyone who had evil intentions like that stop me from doing the work that I love, stop me from being a leader of this Commonwealth and looking out for all Pennsylvanians. I will not be deterred in my work, and I will not be afraid to do that work.
A 38-year-old Harrisburg man is under arrest. Shapiro, his family, and visitors were asleep at the time of the overnight fire. Earlier, they had celebrated a Passover Seder. Though he's exempted electronics from 145% China tariffs, President Trump says additional levies are on the way for semiconductors and such.
Like we did with steel, like we did with automobiles, like we did with aluminum, which are now fully on. We'll be doing that with semiconductors, with chips, and numerous other things. And that'll take place in the very near future.
And later today, the president meets with his Salvadoran counterpart at the White House.
Salvadoran President Bukele's visit comes at a time when his country is accepting hundreds of deported immigrants from the United States.
He's been amazing. We have some very bad people in that prison, people that should have never been allowed into our country.
Talking with reporters on Air Force One, the president dismissed any concerns about human rights conditions at the maximum security prison in El Salvador. Greg Clugston at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland.
Despite ongoing uncertainty over tariffs and trade, Wall Street has been higher so far this morning. Right now, the Dow is up 456 points. The Nasdaq better by 261. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
China says exports jumped 12.4% in March from a year earlier as its economy confronts new American tariffs.
A China Customs Administration spokesman says the country faces a complex and severe external situation, but the sky will not fall. He pointed to China's diversified export markets and huge domestic potential. Exports to the US and Europe have slowed, but to those to Southeast Asia, India and Africa have jumped. However, a study by Capital Economics argues China's shipments are set to drop back over the coming months and quarters, and it could be years before Chinese exports regain current levels. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
European officials condemning as a war crime Russia's deadly missile attack on the city of Sumy. It killed and wounded scores of people. 2 ballistic missiles yesterday morning hit the heart of the city. News and analysis at townhall.com. Life may be getting easier a bit for some West Coast watermen.
After years of a shortened fishing season aimed at preventing whale entanglements off the West Coast, California crabbers are experimenting with a new fishing method, allowing them to stay on the water longer while keeping the marine mammals safe. The state has been running a pilot program to try out so-called pop-up gear and is expected to fully authorize it for the spring crab fishing season in 2026. Some fishermen have been skeptical, others say it works and can help their business. Jason Walker reporting.
Family, friends, and the public remembering boxing legend George Foreman, a service today in his hometown of Houston. In addition to a storied boxing career, he was also an ordained minister and quite the astute businessman. Foreman died last month at the age of 76. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were successful in their space launch. They went to space and went up for 10 minutes and came back down.
Oh, they're back down now.
All good.
Oh.
Katy Perry and Gayle King and
They got some good pictures. Dude, ever since that was brought up, inexplicably, the song Last Friday Night has been stuck in my head.
Why is that song?
I don't know. Of all of Katy Perry's discography, why my head chose Last Friday Night.
Right. I don't know.
Kind of infuriating, too, because it's a very annoying song. Especially to me, because, okay, my biggest problem with music is when somebody tries to shoehorn in a word or phrase and it doesn't work, so you have to say it differently.
Right.
Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Iambic pentameter, essentially, for lack of a better term. But that song does it over and over and over again, where it says words like you're not like puts the emphasis on the wrong part of the word, or it shoehorns in a lyric.
Mm-hmm. I know. What you're talking about. Yeah, that annoys me.
We went
too,
streaking in the park, skinny dipping after dark, then had and then I'm not going to finish that line, but it just the way it's worded, it irritates me. And my head chose that one to get stuck stuck inside of. Come on, brain, work with me here.
It's a deep down about you, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because I know it's me when I do it. Where did that come from? That's my issue.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yep. But their successful launch and everything went well. So I it's cool and I would do it, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't look at it as some momentous historic occasion. It's basically a very expensive carnival.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's
That's what it is right now.
They literally put them on the backs of ponies and walked them around in a circle.
Like when they go and do mission stuff, like science stuff, and
Yeah, nobody did a spacewalk here.
I mean, just right now it's just a ride. It's a very expensive Disney ride.
I will say this, that if given the choice of which vessel to go up in, I think it would be his, because the one I was talking about earlier is actually Virgin Galactics. The way
that's
theirs,
the one with the airplane.
They fly up and then the rocket launches off that.
They piggyback off the plane. Though.
That's terrifying, because if anything goes wrong, it goes wrong 30,000 feet in the air. If something goes wrong on the Blue Origin, we got a crew on hand that can fix it. So I'm like, if given my druthers, I think I would rather go up that way, but I don't want to do it because...
Allow me to add fuel to your nightmare.
Okay, sure.
Okay, you're sitting on a plane with wings up there.
Uh-huh.
And if you get, in theory, that thing should glide down and come down.
Right.
Just, if you want to talk safety, while you're sitting on that Bezos rocket or any of these rockets, you literally have thousands of pounds of fuel underneath your butt.
I know. Oh, I'm fully
aware. And then
aware.
a heat ignition source.
Right.
You're literally lighting a fire underneath.
Right.
And shooting you up to space.
And then that one guy comes out onto the tarmac and there's a big bubble and he jumps on it.
Yeah.
And it launches you. I did that when I was a kid. I know how rockets work.
I'm just saying. I don't know if it's all.
I know how modern rocketry is.
But
still, like, I don't want to go to the top of the stratosphere.
Yeah.
I have height restrictions.
Yeah. Well, you ain't gonna be solid need on that Bezos rocket.
Exactly. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good here on terra firma.
Right.
I get vertigo looking down the staircase. Like if I'm waiting for the elevator, I just look over the edge. That gives me vertigo.
I understand. Yeah. I don't want to do it either, but I don't know. I mean, part of me would do it.
Yeah.
Because if the end game's going to space, but I want to go for real space. I don't want to go 10 minutes of and then.
I would love to experience weightlessness.
Yeah.
But I feel like every way that I would have to experience that would also result in me vomiting.
Yeah, the only way you can experience it is go find one of these places that does vomit comet.
Yeah, like the parabolic arc thing. I think that's the only attainable thing for someone like us.
Become an astronaut. That'll do it.
Well, there's that. Yeah, but no, I'm all set. I don't think it's Yeah, space is the final frontier, and I'm all set down here on Terra.
Well, you wait till they got like the Star Trek ships, and you could just be an ensign, and you go and you work the bar. Or something
Once
on
we
the
have
Enterprise.
established like a space station that is Earth-like, then I won't really think about height because I'm there now.
You could be the holodeck attendant or whatever.
And I'm getting there. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
We have to figure out matter transmogrification because I'm not taking the flight.
One of Whoopi's bartenders at that space station.
There you go.
But anyway, I move on because we got a full hour. For
We
you. Carrie Moore with the Chaves County Health Council going to join us here in just a few. Later on in the hour, we'll also have Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society join us, talking about Dine to Donate tomorrow night out at Texas Roadhouse and scholarships, all that good stuff. We'll do all that this hour, but first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Temperatures stay pretty comfortable for the next few days. We have a cool high-pressure system moving in from the central Rockies. We'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Upper 70s to low 80s and a little bit breezy. Overnight, some clouds and low to mid-50s, and then we'll stay nice on Tuesday. It'll be a sunny day and afternoon highs in the mid-70s. We're back to about 90 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Man, thank you, Steve. Currently 59 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is, you know what? That's not fresh. That was last hour fresh. Let me freshen it up. Maybe. It's just staring at me. Well, I guess best we're going to get is last hour. 59 here in Roswell. Humidity's at 36%. Winds are out of the north at 16 miles per hour. 79, so near 80 today. Windy, breezy. Winds out of the northeast 10 to 20. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 52, east winds 5 to 10. Sunny and 74 tomorrow with winds out of the east 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Wednesday will be in the 90s. Will be breezy as well, 5 to 10 out of the south early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Thursday is going to be just straight up windy, 93 with areas of blowing dust and all that stuff. And then blowing dust Thursday night. Friday, mostly sunny, 84 and breezy. Then rain chances for the weekend, 30% on Saturday, 40% Saturday night, and a 20% on Sunday with highs in the upper 70s Saturday, lower 70s on Sunday. All right, 9:13, we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Carrie Moore with the Chaves County Health Council will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Roswell, during these unprecedented times when others are raising prices, Roswell Ford is lowering ours with employee pricing for everyone. So you pay what we pay. Only at Roswell Ford. Make no payments for 90 days. Upside down in your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford can help you get out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. So you can pay what we pay today with employee pricing to all customers on new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, and we have them for less. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you and perform oil changes, tire rotations, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. For massive American-made savings and employee pricing for everyone, get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinance to new loan subject to lender approval. Offers not combined. Expires in month's end.
Do you want to improve the appearance of your smile or increase your self-esteem and confidence? Many people have already chosen to update their smile with veneers. Here at Carabelli Dental in Roswell, we work with our patients to understand their smile goals. With veneer treatment, we can eliminate gaps between teeth, solve the problems of stained teeth, and even perfect uneven or misshaped teeth. You owe it to yourself to have the smile you know is possible. Call us now.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
The Eastern New Mexico University System is proud to present One Eastern Day, sponsored by J.P. Stone Community Bank on Thursday, May 1st from 4 to 9 p.m. on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Come join ENMU for a family fun night featuring food trucks, inflatables, info booths, and live music by Roswell's own Grupo Maldad from 7 to 9 p.m. Bring out the whole family May 1st to ENMU Roswell and join us for One Eastern Day. Visit roswell.enmu.edu for more information. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Get a seamless, built-in look for your kitchen with a KitchenAid flush design dishwasher. With a panel-ready door and flush installation, this dishwasher fits evenly with countertops and cabinetry when installed in a standard cabinet depth of 24 inches. Shop KitchenAid flush design dishwashers at Bush Appliance in Roswell. From cabinets to appliances to installation, one call does it all. Bush Appliance, 111 West Country Club in Roswell.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Health Council, Carrie Moore back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Hanging in there.
Good deal. It's on to the next thing, pretty much, is what it feels like.
Yeah, that's how we go. We end one event, we move on to starting something else, and we just keep going and adding more. And
absolutely, because, of course, Chavez County Health Council is always busy, but in case you missed it just a week or two ago here.
Last weekend,
1 week ago.
A week before that, yeah.
I've slept since then. I don't know. People ask me dates, and I was like, last week, and no, that was 6 months ago. Oops.
Yeah. What?
But a week to 2 weeks ago, we did have the Veteran Symposium, the annual event. Hopefully, folks that wanted to participate got a chance to. If not, we will do it again. But if you need resources, don't hesitate. Call 211.
211 always.
And that will, if you're a veteran and you missed the symposium, or maybe you want to follow up on something you saw at the symposium, they can put you in touch with the right people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and we're planning next year for the symposium, which will be about the same time. Right now, we're currently planning for the Health Expo.
Yes, which is coming up here in August, right?
First weekend of August. Yeah. Now, the great thing is we finally got a spot secured.
Oh, good.
That has been like the biggest trying thing.
Because obviously it's known, and it's always been at the Convention and Civic Center for the longest time, but obviously that is not available now.
No, and trying to find something that's large, that
I mean, the closest is probably the fairgrounds, maybe. I mean, that's kind of
fairgrounds, but there's no bus service.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Is it's kind of remote.
Yep. So we're at the mall.
Excellent. So that's kind of the best of both worlds, where we got a lot of room.
We got a lot of room.
A lot of parking.
It's tax-free weekend.
It's on the bus.
So they can shop.
Oh, good. It's that weekend.
It's resources.
It's kind of a multitask. You can get your health stuff, free backpacks, free school supplies, and then go buy your clothing, computers, and things with tax-free and all.
One-stop shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And this year, this is the first time, but we're going to do a themed event.
Okay.
Just because I was standing in the mall, and I haven't been in the mall forever. And I'm standing there looking at retro pinks and greens going, 80s. This is just throwing up 80s all over. And I'm like,
got to do it.
Vintage video games.
There you go.
And then my brain just started going, okay, well, we've got to run, and we can't do a bubble run because it's going to be at the mall.
Right.
So I got to change that. So now it's going to be tied to a vintage video game.
Okay.
And we have scavenger hunts, which will be tied to a vintage video game. So it's
it might be some like Pac-Man themed or Donkey Kong themed.
Yep. So
stuff.
I've got lots of ideas and lots of things, and so hopefully the booth people will jump on board with that.
I think you have some fun with this.
Yeah, I think it could be a blast.
Yeah.
But our timeline, we're pretty much about a month behind on
so
everything, trying to find that location. So we are early bird booth registrations are available now.
Okay.
And that ends at the end of the month. So, I mean, we're like right there.
You got about 2 weeks here to
about
get that
2 weeks
done.
left to do that. We did drop the fees down, so it's $25 for a booth this year instead of the $50, just because of the location change on it. Yeah. We are also doing our sponsor packets. Again, our presenting sponsors are...
To be honest, though, you kind of have because of you're going to get traffic that weren't there for the fair to begin with. So as a booth vendor, you're kind of getting a bigger bang for your buck this time.
You are. And, I mean, we've always had the students, the parents, the seniors.
Sure.
You know, it's always been a cross gamut of ages.
Yeah.
But here we have the availability to do a lot more. So one of the feedbacks that we got from last year is they'd like to see some financial information, because health is more than just your physical or mental health.
Got to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you're struggling financially, you need some financial help. And so they would like some
Absolutely.
budgeting ideas. So it's like, okay, if you're one of those budgeting companies out there, a bank or somebody who does this kind of stuff, come provide information. You can do this kind of things and get it out to the community.
Absolutely.
And then maybe we can, make our community healthier.
Shocking concept, huh? But but I think so. Really, if you haven't been a vendor before, I think this might be a good year to do it, because, like you said, you're going to have your health fair group that's going to come regardless. Right. But now you got people that are just going to the mall because they're school shopping or getting ready for tax-free weekend. So you're going to have way more eyeballs on your booth than you probably normally would at one of the health fairs. So,
right. Normally we do about 1,000 people.
Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping, fingers crossed, little happy dance, that we can jump that up quite a bit more.
Absolutely. So take advantage of the early bird special. Get it done within the next 2 weeks. Is probably what, call 211? Is that probably the best way?
You can call 211 and we can get you the information. You can also go to the Chaves County Health Council website.
Okay.
The packets are all up there so that you can access it.
Okay.
Of course, 211 is the easy access to get anything and everything we do.
Now, like years past, you usually ask each of the vendors to donate school supplies. 2
backpacks with school supplies, and that's how we give them out to the community. Yeah. And so a lot of people don't know. So we give them out while they're there at the expo, but then whatever's left, we take down to the Valley schools.
Nice.
So we give them to Dexter, Hagerman, and Lake Arthur.
Gotcha.
I want to say last year, I think I took down about 300 backpacks.
Oh, wow.
To them. Because we had a smaller turnout because it was after school started.
That's right. It was a weird, because it was like 2 weeks after school started, and I think most people had their stuff already. So.
Yeah. So this year we're going before school starts. Make sure we get it. But we want to make sure that everything we do goes back out to the community.
Absolutely. So and so if you're, especially if your business or organization has anything to do, even if it's, when we say healthcare, all quality of life stuff, even if it's relaxing, rejuvenating stuff, and like you said, especially since we're getting into the the financial side of it. So if there's some helping with financial planning and stuff, that's very much part of this too. So if you're in there wanting to help get some eyeballs on some of your retirement stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm getting up in age, so I'm looking at, I got to have all my stuff lined up and ready for my kids.
Yeah.
So, death planning is there. I mean, it's everything. Life.
Absolutely.
The Health Council is life.
Absolutely. If you got it and help you navigate. If your business or organization kind of fits in that groove, get in touch with the Health Council now. Let's get you signed up. Like I said, space is going to be limited, and I'm telling you, there's always people at the end. Can I get in there? And it's always full.
Is.
And so get it in. I know August is a long time away in most people's brains right now, but the get in on the early bird stuff, you got 2 weeks to get that done. And I'm telling you, by the end of May, it's usually full.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of planning that goes into this. And so that's why these deadlines are set up so far in advance, is because we got to get stuff printed and we got to get things going.
I would imagine if you're able to lock down like the blowmobiles or any of that stuff, it'll be on the parking lot.
Yeah, so the mall was gracious enough. So there on the west side of the mall, the main entrance, you've got that tree-lined little entranceway right in the center.
Yes.
They're going to block that off, and we're going to put buses and all of the mobile vendors there.
Oh, I gotcha. Cool. So you can kind of go hit like the bus court, I guess you could call it.
It's called Tree Alley.
Okay.
Who knew that?
Well, if we're playing like a food court kind of deal, that'd be kind of thing since we're at the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Cool. So it's going to kind of spill out into the parking lot and everything, too.
We're going to spill into the parking lot. I'm not sure where the run is going to be, if we're going to do it inside the mall, kind of like mall walkers of the 80s, or if we'll be out in the parking lot. We're still...
Or maybe both. You never know.
You never know.
Take you in and out. You never know.
The run takes a little bit longer to plan on some of the things because we got to measure stuff.
Sure. Yeah, it's got to be right 5K. It's got to meet all.
Yeah, I try to get as close to 5K as I can.
Yeah. Otherwise, I did a 5K. You went from one end of the mall to the other. It's not a 5K.
But I did it 20 times. Yeah. All right, you're good.
Very good. But again, any questions about anything to being a vendor, or if you have any questions just about your own personal, if you still got issues with FEMA or flooding or any of that stuff, 211 is your resource and all.
Yep, and we're going to talk about the flooding stuff here in a minute. So let's go ahead and back up. So this whole month of April, we are doing a food drive.
Okay.
So we're at my office, 1200 South Richardson. We're accepting non-perishable canned good type stuff.
Okay.
But this Saturday from 10 to 2, we're going to be in the where you buy grocery stores.
Gotcha. What's that place? We got food in it?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Y'all have to really understand. My brain loses words left and right.
I understand.
But we'll be set up at Albertson South, Farmers North, and Walmart.
Oh, cool.
And accept the.
So if you're in shopping, pick up an extra few cans of good or some non-perishable
while you're
food
doing your
items.
Easter shopping.
Yeah.
Donate a couple cans to help the community on it.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps. And this goes back. You don't realize there's so many people that get, I hear like Harvest Ministries. They get, thanks to our kids and stuff. That's where they get much of the school. And this is where it comes from is generous folks. When you see them sitting out in front of the stores and you drop off that bag of canned goods, that's a big help. So please, if you can, please do that. It's a big help.
And in the community, there's a lot of hungry people out there, and so we just try to make sure that we can help the community as much as we can.
There's more than you realize.
There is.
Way more than you realize. And to be honest, there's people that are, we say homeless, and I mean, and there are people that are technically not homeless, but they are homeless. Because they're, couch surfing or doing something. They may not be living on the street, but they're not living in a home of theirs or rented space or anything. They're just literally going from couch to couch, meal to meal, wherever they can get it. And technically they're not homeless, but you know what? They don't know where their next meal's coming from either.
Right.
So.
And there's a lot of that. So I was in a meeting last week, and Roswell Schools reported over 250 homeless kids in the school district. And the majority of those were due to the flooding. So because of the flooding, there's a lot of homes that the kids aren't necessarily living in, so they've got them couch surfing with whatever friends and families they can, and maybe the parents are staying in the homes.
Sure.
Because the homes are technically not in a livable condition.
Yeah, they've been should be demolished. Is what's going on.
Well, not even necessarily demolished, because so it's not all of them, and it's kind of a modge podge of how things are working. If their damage is 60% or more, then yes, they'll need to be demolished, because at that point it's
just
cheaper.
50%.
If it's at 50% or less, then it's kind of a repair, unless it's structural and it affected the foundation.
Sure.
And then that gets into some.
When you're dealing with flooding, it's hard to. Sometimes you don't realize that stuff till way down the road. Too.
Yeah. Well, what we're seeing right now is, which we knew was going to happen, is the mold.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That stuff's deadly.
And it's even in the homes where they thought that they've got it, all cleaned up and everything. And now all of a sudden with the heat and everything, it's like, well, we still have moisture. We still have mold growing.
This is something where you're thankful you live in New Mexico, because you don't deal with this as much here than you do. Like back east, this is you don't have to have flooding to have mold issues.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, we do have humidity here. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of it.
But it's enough to incubate and make this stuff grow and fester.
And then throw our heat on top of it. And, we all know what it's like being outside in Roswell when it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And
you'll find out in a day or two if you didn't find out this weekend.
Yeah, it's just kind of nasty.
Yeah.
But the great thing about some of this is that I don't know if you saw that Congress allocated $137 million for flood recovery.
Yes.
Well, flood and fire recovery. So that $137 million is for Chaves and Lincoln counties.
Oh, great.
Combined. No other counties can touch it, and it's just for the flood and the fires.
Okay.
Out of that $137 million, the state wants to use, well, right now, the state is saying they want to use $100,000 of that for housing. And that is literally grant money to homeowners to be able to repair or rebuild their houses.
Okay. Use $100 million of it.
$100 million.
Yeah, I got you. You said 100,000. I was like,
I did that last time too.
I was
yeah.
like, that's not very much.
100, yeah, no,
100 million.
100,000
that more like it.
Millions. See, I've never seen $1 million, so I just don't
Me
know
either.
how to use those words.
It's a couple more zeros.
I've never seen $100,000 either. So
No, I haven't. And to be honest, I think if you see it, it's not that impressive. It's like one stack of money.
Well, I think I would be impressed if I had.
I would be, but it's not like a briefcase like full like you'd think it would be.
It would if you did it in dollars.
It would be, yeah, but
Yeah.
they probably give it to you in hundreds, and it's just like one stack.
Yeah,
Like
probably.
a big stack.
But anyways, that $100 million into housing. And again, this is where if you're 60%, this grant money will go in and it will rebuild the entire house, or it will repair the house.
But you probably have to be in the FEMA system to do all
This
that.
has
right?
nothing to do with FEMA.
Oh, okay. This is complete separate.
This
of that.
is
Okay.
completely separate from FEMA. So
Do you have to show some kind of proof of damage, or how does that work?
So we'll know more as we're going, but yes, so the state already has case managers. It's the Department of Homeland Security Emergency Management
Gotcha.
Group. They're
Okay.
already been here on the ground and have been working.
Okay.
But this money flows through them. So it's through the HUD department. But you don't have to be a HUD
recipient?
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
that's a whole separate program. Just remember,
Okay.
HUD is technically Housing and Urban Development.
Right. So this is technically under housing, not just under low income housing.
Right.
This is
It is
different
for low to moderate income housing. So if you have high income, you would
probably
be
aren't needing
low man on totem pole there.
Well, you probably have enough insurance to take care of what you're needed
Right.
to begin with.
And it's not going to cover second home. So if you are
No vacation homes. which
no
is
vacation homes.
More of a
so
Ruidoso problem than a here
that's
problem.
Ruidoso. But we do have rentals here.
Sure.
And so
But if it's a rental, but the homeowner can make the claim, right? Even though it's
it has to be their primary residence.
Okay. Because it's
So-
a business to them, they can't claim
Right.
it. Okay.
But then there's the rehab to rental program, which could help in that if they don't have the money, and then that's a different program which does help
Gotcha.
with those voucher holders through
Okay.
HUD. There's all kinds of opportunities to help with the housing.
Probably call 211 and that'll help
211,
you.
we've got, yeah.
You got specific scenarios here if you qualify.
Right.
That'd probably be the best on that. But it's there and it's coming and it's been approved and 100 million of it. If you want to get a slice of that, you need to start the process.
Well, so
Or
they're
with-
in public comment right now.
Oh, so it has an official.
The 137 million is there. That's not going away.
Okay.
What can change is that 100 million, because that 100 million for housing and then that 37 million is left over for mitigation and infrastructure.
Okay.
If the public doesn't put their input in and saying, yes, we need it in the housing, it gets moved and it'll go more into mitigation and infrastructure.
Okay.
Well, we already know that, the city has a way of getting money to help repair with infrastructure in the county because they do it through the taxes. Yes, we're all paying for it. We're paying for this no matter what.
Right.
However this is coming through, this is not going to change anything.
Funded money.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what
It's
it is.
all funded from that.
But what's different is that those who lost their homes, FEMA will never fully build a house.
They won't
I
make
mean,
you rightful.
Right, because FEMA's an insurance company. So if you've ever dealt with your insurance, I mean, that's what it is.
They're trying to pay out the least amount they can possibly pay
Right.
and still get away with.
And
saying
then
they
from
didn't.
there, the state of New Mexico has the anti-donation clause. So the state of New Mexico can't give you any funds to help you rebuild either. It just doesn't work. So this 137 million from the feds, this is where it's going to help the homeowners.
Gotcha.
And this is how we're going to get them back into housing.
Okay.
Because we're already so short on housing as it is, and you take devastating fires and floods, and we lose 200, 300. How many homes did Ruidoso lose?
I don't know, but it's a lot. Yeah,
It was
couple
a huge
hundred,
amount.
200, something like that.
Yeah. And so this is the only way to get them back into housing.
Yeah.
So the public input period is through May, I'll say May 1st.
Okay. So a couple more weeks here.
Yeah. Get with 211. We can show you where the website is, or you can Department of Homeland Security Emergency Management under Lincoln County or Chaves County, and you can see where the proposal is.
Okay.
The action plan. And then they'll asking for the public input. The public input is the key, people. We've got to keep that money into housing. Because if we don't...
Someone will take it and do New Mexico things with it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, how do we do this without getting political? And that was the way to do
it. Do what New Mexico do.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely. But 211, if you
211.
get it, and definitely do it. And then, of course, don't forget, now's the time to get in on for sponsorships and everything for
the Health Expo.
For the Health Expo in August here. And if you want to be a vendor, if you want to be a sponsor, if you want to donate, to volunteer, if you want to get involved, call 211 and they'll put you in the right path.
And then come see us Saturday at
yeah.
Walmart, Farmers North, and Albertsons, and help us collect some food for
While
the
you're in
hungry.
there shopping, do your thing. Grab a couple cans of food or some stuff. You know, you're grabbing your yams and all that. Grab
It's
a
like,
few more.
get your green beans. Give us a couple green beans.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. That would be helpful. We do appreciate it because it does that. Some people don't eat unless this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Carrie. As always.
Well, thank you.
We'll see you next time here in a couple
All right.
weeks. 9:36, quick break, and then Amy McVeigh-Tejas will join us talking from the Historical Society. We got Dine to Donate night. We got scholarships. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. So that's up next. Don't go away.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have project superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project. But not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Upside Down? Time to turn it around. The Upside Down and Payoff Sales event is on now at Roswell Honda. Now through Easter weekend, Roswell Honda needs your trade, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. If they make a deal, they'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe and eliminate your existing loan or lease. Drive away today for $0 down and payments as low as $199 a month with or without perfect credit. Drive newer for less and get right side up during the Upside Down and Payoff Sales event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. That Do Right. Do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
If you suffer from pogonophobia, you would not want to attend a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
Beards, in case you're wondering. Haven't figured that one out. Good morning. It is 9:38, and joining us in studio this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVeigh-Tejas back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, and hopefully I got Easter week, so I'm sure a lot of families got plans. It's short week for most people here, but maybe we'll have a pre-Easter dinner tomorrow.
That's right.
We'll have a
there you go. That's
steak.
a good idea.
Like if you do your ham or whatever your tradition is on
that's
Easter,
right.
come have a steak dinner tomorrow and help out the
Because it's tax day. I think it's today to celebrate.
That's
If
right.
you've got-
That's right.
Whether you've delayed the
Well, I'm going to take a stab.
Cut it down.
If you're filing your taxes now, you're not getting a refund. you would have filed months ago if you're getting a refund. Let's be honest. So let's have a commiserate steak.
There you go. There you go.
And then maybe you can use a write-off for next year.
See? Always looking ahead.
That's right.
See?
But yes, tomorrow night is the next Dine to Donate night for the Historical Society. If you're not familiar, about once every 3 months or so, the Texas Roadhouse is kind enough to allow one night when you go and order your meals and everything. If you physically bring the flyer or show a digital version of the flyer, they will take 10% of your meal cost and donate it back to the Historical Society from like 3 to 10.
3 to 10.
Yep.
That's right.
So tomorrow night's that night.
Tomorrow night.
And it works if you do the order through the app, the dine-in pickup. Just make sure that when you do pick up your food, you show them the flyer on your phone or the actual flyer. That way they'll tally your meal cost at the end of the night so that your 10% goes towards the...
And invite your neighbors and bring your loose change. We're still collecting loose change, so clean out your car.
Clean out your drawers and
we are
bring
very
loose
thankful. Every time y'all throw a couple coins in that thing, like literally, we get a couple $1,000
thousands of
every
dollars
year
just from change.
just because people drop some pennies or some quarters.
And literally every penny counts. And we love, shout out, we just completed our fourth graders, and I love those fourth graders.
Yeah.
They're literally thanking this image of, and we've had a little kid, these fourth graders bring their change. They're literal. So every penny
and
does
believe
count.
it or not, it helps pay for some of those things that they came off the fourth grade.
Well, and if you're a little bit of a procrastinator like Mike, and you keep thinking I need to pay my dues, which he did.
I'm good. I'm square.
But if you bring that too. Bring your membership if you haven't already.
Absolutely.
And get those things taken care of. We have a lot of
or
other
if you want to
things
be a member,
coming out.
come on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got.
If you're not a member, want to be one? Come on down. We'd love to have you.
Give a gift.
You can family can be a member individually. You have corporate level. There's all kinds of.
I love gifting memberships.
Yeah.
Because more than once we've had an individual get a membership as a gift, and then they're doing more than the member.
Absolutely.
I love that. So we you can, like as a member of the Historical Society, we work together on so many fun projects. I was just thinking on the way over here, I was thinking, okay, just like, we have a certain amount of time, we can talk as fast as we can.
Yeah.
So many projects going on. But even looking ahead, we'll be working with Elaine on the Galacticon.
Yeah.
We're going to be working.
Which will be downtown, which is kind of new.
Right, with the air races.
Yeah.
Those are fun projects, and we have our moment. Just like this weekend for the Art event, if you were unable to come, we've got we're always working on projects. But
the
right
library
now,
was hopping this weekend.
If we have one thing, right now we are working on the horrible, excruciating, but wonderful all at once task of scholarships.
Yeah.
We're going to, spreadsheets are out. We're going to be.
Yeah, all the
ladies and
applications are in,
It's
right?
done. It's completed.
we're
We
now-
can no longer, deadline
Yeah.
was in March. But I'm asking a listener to consider making a donation. I can tell you right now, and just after the weekend, Mike, with TLI, Teen Leadership Institute, we have such an amazing group of seniors. And I'm going to tell you, there will never be enough scholarships to support all these amazing kids.
They're all deserving.
From every local school, even Fort Sumner, and even at Dexter and Hagerman. So if you're listening and have never been a scholarship member and would love to impact a life, please call the museum at 622-8333. There will never be enough money.
Well,
and I'm telling you one thing, Mike. If we, by somebody called and said, hey, I'm going to give you another $500. I'm going to give you $1,000.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
You know what?
Every
I would
penny.
imagine if you call up, because this is what we're talking about, is like we have so many excellent students that apply for this stuff. And like I said, there's never enough money. You know what? If you say, I imagine if you talk and say, look at this packet here. Read this kid's story.
Oh, my.
You
bring up a good point. We should read some things. I mean, like after the win, we can read.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh,
See, this is, and so if we can get extra people to donate, and we have to turn away less people, that's the amazing thing where we can get more. The Hayes Trust, they've done an amazing job, and some other equally
like
awesome
TSI
benefactors.
Family Fund and FMS and so many people.
We can always use more, and if you're looking for a place to see where you can help make a difference, and trust me, we do the vetting. We do, and we're so glad that people like the Hayes family and these others trust us to be that steward for their money.
100%.
Because that's what we're at the end of the day what we're doing.
And somebody just asked me the other day, and I love these questions because I'm like, what? I can't believe you asked that. And I'm like, okay, Amy, why do y'all give scholarships? What does that have to do with history? Well, if you are not connecting those dots by now, I'm going to give you a perfect example. We have one of our past scholarship recipients, graduate of Mexico Tech, never made a B in his life. And now his sister's applying.
Absolutely.
And they're going to make a difference. And they're going to come back to Roswell. And we are investing in future generations. And ladies and gentlemen, even in the humanities category alone, we have kids wanting to come back to be the next Elvis Fleming.
Sure.
Or, oh my goodness.
I mean, look at the museum, the J.P. White home. I mean, we're talking it's the home of a very affluent Roswellian. And the life and times and we're just, it's a study. So everything, it's all connected to that. I mean, because to be honest,
it's all connected.
I'm going to take a stab that the over the years, some of that money, that's the next Dr. White, the next, the next leaders of our community.
I just want to take a moment to, we lost a treasure. He's living a good life now up above. But James Phelps White III recently passed. And
about 2 weeks ago or so.
If you were unable to read the obituary about his amazingness to not only us but our community, log on to RoswellNMHistory.org. We have the full obituary, and we just want to take a moment to honor his legacy. He was very significant in helping get that archives building built, and the list is long and distinguished. He was very significant to making the connection to George W. Littlefield and the family. So if,
I only got a chance to meet him once or twice.
Oh my goodness!
But it was very
that
nice.
knowledge just flowed.
The couple times I met him and got a
that
conversation,
knowledge,
was very nice,
that memory of his just flowed right. But ladies
just
and gentlemen, that was a
pleasant.
treasure.
Him and his wife both. It was
and
just
that
pleasant
legacy. We may have the next James Phelps White III.
Absolutely. That's what we're doing.
That's what it's all
the history.
about.
It's the heritage of Southeast New Mexico, and we celebrate that. We're providing. And to be honest, these kids that apply for the scholarships, they're applying for everything's history related. Everything, even the STEM stuff is history related. It's all history.
And this all connects because in June we will do the next Youth Challenge because we've got the first group for 2025 for Youth Challenge. They'll be getting their scholarships in June and then in December. So this is just continuance, and we're going to honor these amazing kids. Have some more great things coming up. National Day of Prayer, mark your calendars, is on Thursday, May the 1st. So that week, ladies and gentlemen.
It's missed off by one day on the Pray at the Pole.
So you're welcome to come at the pole on Wednesday, but we probably won't be organized there.
We'll do it too for that week.
But this week and all the other weeks, we will be Wednesday, 9 o'clock in the morning, praying at the pole. If you're a pastor listening, we love and embrace all different churches represented. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a big part of our history too, and we have a book on that. That's a rich part of our history.
Absolutely.
So every Wednesday, 9 o'clock in the morning, see you at the pole. National
It's not
Day of
a
Prayer,
particular faith;
Thursday.
it's of faith.
Of faith, coming together. Anyway, we can support people, come together. That's what it's all about in these unique times. Let's celebrate history. Let's come together.
Well, and I like because and why it's, and of course, public, private, whatever. We just love you to do it. But yes, if you can come out on Wednesday mornings, Thursday, May 1st, obviously at that one. But because it's a visual, obviously, when you see people and what's going on there, but it's also a reminder of what makes us common instead of what separates us.
And coming together.
And we need a lot more of that because we got the world. Everyone's defining their separate, what makes me unique and what makes me special. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. But we get so lost in what makes us unique and special, we forget what makes us common, what makes us relatable, what we can all, we all come from different places, but we all want the same thing.
The world sure does highlight our differences. Let's highlight what comes together. We've even had people drive up. You can roll down your window. You don't have to get. We've had people sick or just uncomfortable getting out. I'm fine. Drive through the parking lot, roll down your window.
Absolutely.
But let's just come together on that. I think that's a great thing. And somebody said, you're always going to do it. Well, I don't, I don't know the future.
It's organic.
But, it
happens.
Naturally flows.
If people want to do it, then it's going to happen as long as it wants to be.
If you have a little prayer group at your church, come together. Let's unify. Let's come together. We've got a lot more coming up. I'm very excited, Mike. The next time we'll come on the radio, we will announce the Heritage Dinner for 2025. That's going to be we are really excited about that. Working on the details. There's so many other things going on in our community. We try to set our events to not,
clash.
That's exactly right. So we're working on that different. So
Absolutely.
we're working on calendar details. Well, really exciting, though.
And this is something, and I've said it on this show 1,000 times, and I'll probably say it 1,000 more, that, our community, we have a great big community of, like, we'll say the town, roughly 50,000, give or take. We can make those arguments all day, but we really have, I would say, a good 200-300 people that are constantly involved, you know what I mean, in a lot of things. And that group of people really make our community go through their volunteer work, through their whatever they do.
Right.
And
impact in
sometimes they're involved in more than one thing.
That's
and so yes, the clash thing's real. If because we don't want to take away, if there's another great organization doing an event, we don't want to mess theirs up because we're taking away the same people to do
That's exactly
that
right.
thing. And one way to solve this is come volunteer. We can always have more people.
Yes, we're working on some projects.
Yeah.
Literally right now, we've got some projects this week. If you say, Amy, I want to see what it's like to volunteer, I'm going to tell you right now, Robin's going to come this afternoon. We have some big projects we're working on. And while I'm thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen, if you attended the Art and M event, listen, because we're going to be scheduling Museum Day coming up. Those and we're working on calendars to make sure. Sometimes we can naturally work together, and it works out good for everybody to be out.
Absolutely.
But we're working on that. I know Caroline Brooks and all of our amazing museums are going to work hard to set the best day for that. But Museum Day has not. It is a go.
Oh, it's a go.
It's a go.
We'll have to.
We'll
the Roswell
schedule
Museum
the
will
day.
have to do a little shenanigans, but it will be represented.
And we're very intentional to make it better than the last year, just because it looks different. So those things, some of them are naturally for, and the Historical Society just wants to be a part of, be a part of so many different things.
And we had a great opportunity to talk to Caroline last week on the radio.
Oh, good.
Here, and she said, like, it's going to be a minute before that museum's open to the public again. It's just, and this is the hard pill to swallow. We all understand the importance of museums and the significance and the quality that they bring to a community. Unfortunately, they're not roads. They're not electrical. They're not water. They're not involved in the, shelter, clothing, the life stage of things. And therefore, it gets a lower priority.
That's right.
So what I'm telling you right now, if you want to expedite things for something like this, the only way it gets expedited is if we, the public, support and get involved.
And it's a way of healing. Humanities has been hit a bit.
Yeah.
We keep continuing to get those emails, and we won't stop coming together. Whether it's history and art, it's all the same to us, and we won't stop. We have had a hit as a whole, because there are, as we speak the language at the Historical Society, wants and needs.
Yep.
We're very intentional to focus on all of our needs and thrive, those are the goals, right? For the wants and needs. But we're all a big family here.
Absolutely.
And the sooner our amazing county gets over our differences and comes together, I still say the best is yet to come. It is. We know it is.
Sure.
We're a great community. We're going to be greater, and we've got great opportunities. So if you have any questions about anything we've talked about, you can log on to roswellnmhistory.org. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to say on the radio that we are working on a new and improved website that we are really excited about, with great opportunities. That is official.
Oh, cool.
Mike, we signed the check.
Oh, nice.
And so but months out, we're going to work on that methodically to outreach the world. That's exciting.
They'll probably build it behind the scenes there, and then they'll unleash it here when it's ready.
Right.
Yeah.
But roswellnmhistory.org. Email me at historydirector@outlook.com. Call the museum at 622-8333.
Yeah.
Archives is working hard on some great projects. I know John and Jacob will be over this afternoon.
And they're always looking for more people. You want to work with John in the archives?
Yeah, they were
communicating.
Hey, they got some questions from a great elementary school going deep into history. Elementary school, I can't remember where in New Mexico, is working on a project.
Okay.
I'm tell you what, Jacob was hunting down everything. If you have research questions, 622-1176. And again, email with any
requests from places like Discovery Channel and some big deals, National Geographic. They come in wanting stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some calls. We're getting some fun new exhibits.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you right now, by summer, we've got some very historical families that we're going to partner with on some new exhibits that are very exciting. We're really excited. But we need volunteers.
Absolutely.
We need your support. We need your coins. We need your time. We need your help. Do not hesitate to call with any question.
And because we are with Mother's Day next month, Father's Day right after that, you can shop at our website if you want. Our thanks to the Hurd family, the Peter Hurd prints, we still have those available. Make great Mother's Day, Father's Day gifts. Of course, and many of our books from our local authors, from Donna to John to Elvis.
I don't believe John's been on the radio to announce the new book, The Historical Society. If you want more information about that, you're welcome to call the archive 622-116. Or we've got a new book coming out, ladies and gentlemen, and it's very, very exciting.
Absolutely.
If you want to call today, 622-8333, I'm telling you right now, we could get an autographed book and deliver it to you this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Because Robin's going to be in the house, John is, and we can work together on
It's the
different
perfect
books.
storm of
It's
people
perfect,
right there
and
at
we
the
have
time,
gift
yeah.
bags and tissue because I just donated some extra I had. So we could literally wrap it and get it delivered. So call and support us in any way you can.
Absolutely.
And if you're an organization and need help with us coming to you, Mike, real fast, we've had calls of us going to different organizations. You want a fun, quick presentation on history? John and I just went to Prime Time at Grace. They canceled the speaker literally overnight. And you know what? It worked out great. Now they're coming for a tour. If you're a part of an organization, and sometimes we forget some of our local treasures, call the museum. We'll be happy to come to you, whether it's our board president, John, myself, any of our board.
That's why we
We're
have
happy.
Museum Day, really, because it just reminds you, guess what? We got all these great places in your backyard.
Yes.
And so when that fires up, I highly recommend you get involved with that. And come, you know, when you get, it's Monday, do you have your Easter plans? You got family in town? Come see what your local town has to offer. Go see some of these. Go make appointments. Go, you know, like for us, it's by appointment. You got family in town this weekend? Give us a call.
Perfect.
We can have a docent meet you there.
I literally just got a request when you and Carrie were taking, and I literally
good thing we're late today.
It worked out perfect. I literally just scheduled a tour, so I know we've got them. I know we've got them on Friday and Saturday. Yes, absolutely. We need a little bit of an advance, and yes, we're going to celebrate and honor and be at church too. But we can work those things out.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll work, and
we'll
don't
make
forget.
it happen.
Rental as well. The archive facility. If you need to, you got a small reception.
Just
or
got the carpet
freezing
cleaned.
bag.
It's looking nice.
All right, so don't mess up the carpet.
No red.
That's right.
No.
leave your Powerades and Gatorades out the door.
That's right. Please clear it. Yes.
Water only. Clear liquids.
It's looking good.
Good. Excellent. And RoswellNMhistory.org is our website.
622-8333. Call with any information. Leave a voicemail. We'll get right back to you in case we don't pick up. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thank you. And we'll see you next. And don't forget, tomorrow night out at Texas Roadhouse, 3 to 10. Get the flyer. Go to our website. You can find it. Go on Facebook. You can find it. Bring that with you. Show it.
Do the cooking tomorrow night.
That's right.
And show up. And drive up. You don't even have to let the man just pick the food up.
That's right. And if you're one of those weird people that don't like steak, they got other things too.
Oh,
they got fish,
great
chicken,
menu.
burgers, barbecue.
Great menu. And I mean, like, it is till 10 o'clock. If you have something going on, make the plan and do that a little bit later. So absolutely. We appreciate it. We'll have information about everything we've talked about at the table tomorrow night too.
Yeah, if you want to be a member or any of the other things.
We'll have it all.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Thank
and,
you.
We'll
Happy
see you
day.
next time.
Have a great week.
You too. And happy Easter, if I don't talk to you before.
That's right.
9:57, let's pause for local news, and then about that time, they're going to kick me off the radio. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. The New Mexico Department of Health is notifying the public about a potential measles exposure from an unvaccinated child with measles at multiple locations in Hobbs, including a daycare center and a popular restaurant between April 4th and 8th, on Friday the 4th and Tuesday, April 8th, from 10:30 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. both days at the Kids City Daycare at Choose Life Church on Del Paso Street, and then on Saturday, April 5th, from 9:30 to 1:30 at the Denny's Restaurant on North Lovington Highway. As of Friday, April 11th, there are 58 cases and 1 death in New Mexico, so far all in 3 southeastern counties, Lee, Eddy, and Chavez. The Reno Air Racing Association, the organization producing the legendary national championship air races since 1964, continues to propel the future of aviation by expanding a highly successful scholarship program. RARA is now awarding 33 scholarships of $10,000 each to aspiring pilots pursuing their private pilot certificate. In 2024 alone, the group provided 13 additional scholarships to local youth, reinforcing their commitment to supporting the next generation of aviation professionals. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Temperatures stay pretty comfortable for the next few days. We have a cool high-pressure system moving in from the central Rockies. We'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Upper 70s to low 80s and a little bit breezy. Overnight, some clouds and low to mid 50s, and then we'll stay nice on Tuesday. It'll be a sunny day and afternoon highs in the mid 70s. We're back to about 90 on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM.